impromptu podcast episode live edition. And it's definitely, look, I don't care what rumors are out there. It's definitely not because we had absolutely no ideas. None whatsoever. And there was a playoff hockey game that we wanted to watch, so that we kind of do a watch along thing with that. That has nothing to do with it. I guarantee it was completely 100% planned, nothing spontaneous about it, 100% exactly as we intended. That and more in this episode of the BIC podcast. I'm hurt and wounded by the implication of anything otherwise. Like, I am hurt and wounded. And the problem with the live, Eric, is that then you've got the peanut gallery here. So we've got Zach here says, here we go. That is true. And Sean just says, sure. Yeah. I feel like he is doubting me. Brandon, this man sounds like he is doubting my words of truth.
I read the text. I mean, it's a private conversation, so I'm not going to show or say what way it went. But I mean, we're always prepared. We get on here early, we hang out, we talk, like, we're always prepared.
Mm-hmm. This required intricate planning. Yeah. Days. Basically, when Friday's live stream ended, the planning began. Like, this is intricate.
Hell, with the Friday live stream ended, this was planned since last Monday night after we recorded the last podcast episode. We knew.
Crazy. Yep. See, this is what proper planning brings forward. Huh? Proper planning.
Yeah. Eric even discussed it with Marcel. I mean, he sent us pictures of the conversation.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I invited him on. Okay.
And he asked who you are in French, and you have to Google Translate, find out what does that mean.
Listen. I know we're live, but we're supposed to be 5% more mature on Monday night.
I felt that was a very mature and legitimate question. And I have legitimate questions of if he knew who you were.
I would like everyone to know, since we're 5% more mature, that he made a surprise visit. He had some business in the area.
He looked very surprised.
He made a surprise visit.
Yeah, he crawled out of your trunk. Go on.
Popped, escaped.
He said freedom in French.
Yeah, he escaped and ran to Sports World for shelter and help.
Sanctuary. Go on.
And, Phil was obviously excited to see him because it was a surprise. And after a couple of minutes of talking, I am to understand that my man, my best friend forever, BFF, Marcel, said, "Where's Eric?" And at that point, Phil sent me a text, and I said, "I'll be right there."
A moving tale. Complete fiction, but a moving tale.
Spent about an hour
collecting payment for the court-ordered
restitution
payment. Yeah, the stalking cases or anything.
No, I've made this clear. The restraining order and any lawsuits and any compensation that he is entitled to is only legal in Canada. If he comes to me,
Massachusetts is a Canadian protectorate. So what you're saying is you're in a lawless territory, is what I'm hearing.
Where's Eric? Then, that's all null and void.
Listen, all I heard is, "Oh my God, where's Eric? Where is he? Wait, is he there? Is he there? Oh my God!"
Say in which tone he said it in. I said those are the words he said. So I was notified of his arrival. And I went to Sports World to capture him. Visit with him. And I spent about an hour. I was able, now this part is true, brought my daughter with me. She has no interest, of course, in any of the things.
Anything related to you, yes, go on.
But she came with me, and she had an opportunity to meet Marcel, and he was very kind to her, obviously. He's a very kind guy. And she was just like, hey, it's nice to meet you. She didn't care,
She came because you said that you would go to either Starbucks, Crumble, or both?
It was crumble. Which,
Of course it was.
Yes.
Damn right.
But guess what? No one told her or I they're closed on Sunday. So it
Listen,
cost
all I got from this. All I got from this. Listen, I'm going to quote a wise man.
Yeah,
Eric, I'm going to quote a wise man. I'm going to quote a wise man in response to your picture of you, Marcel, and your daughter. And I just said, it's a nice photo, Eric, but interrupting the maintenance man while he's working for a photo so you can say you have a friend is a bit weird. And I stand by that. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he was able to deal with your distraction so that he was able to complete his work. And I hope you left him a good Yelp review.
And I'll make sure to tell him that in November. I see that guy over there? Yeah, he's the one. Go. You
yeah. And then he comes by and he goes, how did you know I was a maintenance man? Listen, I know, man. I know these things. I'm Carlos. And it's like, and you are?
Anyways, it was nice. It was nice to see him. It's always a pleasure. He's a great guy. He's an absolute animal. Like, he drives 8 hours down here last weekend to do a signing. Didn't have time for us because he wanted to drive down, do the signing, turn around, and drive back. All right. And he's done that. He did that a year or two ago, where he was at the expo, left the expo, drove down, did a signing in Peabody, got in his car, drove back to Niagara. It's shocking. Like so this time he came down. He had some business, I guess, to do, pick some things up. Stopped in to say hi this time, which was nice. Jumped in his car, back to Niagara, another 8-hour drive. He's just an absolute animal.
So there's two things. Two thoughts I have coming from that. The first one is I'm going to read some comments, but before I do, Eric's general creepiness and his allegations of kidnapping are brought to you by AMG Collectibles, AMGcollectibles.ca, and the AMG Collectibles YouTube channel. If you wish to go to a website and a card shop that does not partake in this kind of horrific kidnapping, then you may want to consider AMG Collectibles and AMGcollectibles.ca. You know, they're much nicer people. Out on the East Coast, they don't kidnap people and pretend they're best friends. You know, maybe there are a few, but not as many as, like, say, over yonder. And we want to acknowledge them. Also, we will be back for a regular podcast episode tomorrow. So normally we record this on a Monday, as we are right now, but it would normally be live, but you're getting the live version. Plus, there will be a podcast episode that will drop tomorrow with that. It'll be more standard fare. I did get some cards ahead of time, so I'll be able to showcase some of that. So we'll have some fun with it. And they'll be able to tell us about the card show and trade night that happened this past weekend. So we'll find out a little bit more about that. So that'll be an episode. Thank you to AMGcollectibles.ca and the AMG Collectibles YouTube channel for helping out the podcast and the YouTube channel. Now, let me read some comments to acknowledge people that Eric has ignored. Amanda, good evening. What is that hat, Eric? It is a hat of him sucking up to the Marcel.
This is the actual hat. Oh, why did I freeze up? Can you guys see me?
Because you froze up in general.
All right.
In your life, you've frozen.
So this is the hat that he actually gave me in November. I keep freezing.
In exchange for his freedom. Well, you haven't frozen for me. Okay. Brandon, it looks fine to me. Fine to you?
Yeah. Right.
So anyway,
yeah, it's just your freezing in your soul. That's
okay. That's fine. So yeah, that's actually the hat he gave me on the way out of the expo in November. So I knew that this topic would come up, so I grabbed it and threw it on.
There you go. Sean here has a question for Eric. I believe you're from Maine, Mass. He can make up any part of Massachusetts. There's only really 3 parts. We've talked about this before. There's only Peabody, Worcester, and what's the third one? Trivia note for those who've been paying attention. There's only 3. Peabody, Worcester, and there's one more. It might involve something that we could do to Eric. Burn the witch. Moving on. Name here. Good evening. What is this gift of opportunity to assault Eric on a Monday? I know.
Well, I don't need this. Okay. I don't. I want to be 5% more mature. I can't do it if he's in the comments.
Good evening, Yannick. He was hunting Eric. Truth. We have a plan in French, as you should.
Yeah.
Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, Phil Joe. Will says alive on a Monday, living dangerously. We are indeed. We are indeed. The plan failed because Kanlo's on site. I know.
Yeah.
It was a glorious plan if it hadn't been for those meddling kids. Literally, those meddling kids. Ruining everything.
It's nice that, you know, as much as Yannick and Marcel and most of Quebec dislikes me, and is out to get me, that they wouldn't harm my daughter, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
Seems only fair. Good evening, Ham.
Merci, mon ami.
Wow. He exhausted all his French there. All his French is exhausted. That's it. That's all he's got. Now, speaking of, since we talked about the live on Monday, in this case, as I said, again, totally planned, not because we didn't have any set topic. Definitely not. 100% totally exactly as we intended. No question.
Isn't this like episode 78 or something like that?
This is episode 78.
Special episode. Like, you had to go live, right? It was in the
special.
cards.
Like 78 is an anniversary of some kind, I'm sure. Like, that's a special number.
One
somewhere.
after 77, which is like
this the one
matching
that,
numbers.
If I go like this, do the sparkles come?
Well, they're supposed to, but it never does it when you actually want it to.
No.
When you actually want it to, that's different.
No, never does it when I want it to. Usually I go like this and all the sparkles and celebrations come, but no, of course.
There you
not.
go.
I thought it was the double thumbs up.
Yeah, Eric tried to. Yannick is giving you some credit. There you go. You nailed it. Look at you.
Double thumbs up.
There you go. We got the special effects in there. Beautifully done.
Episode 78, everybody. Woo!
That's right. Listen, there you go. Now he's finally figured that one out. Now we're good to go. Here we go. Hold on. There you go.
Episode 78.
You get the sound effects and the special. Brandon, that's huge. Like we're up in the production value game right here.
Yeah, it's taking a little while, but each episode is getting stronger. No,
we're just getting there, man.
I was absolutely not watching mountain biking with my mother right up until 8 o'clock on the dot. So I was, we were in.
The part that will sadden me is that you are literally, not only did you do that, but it was probably on replay.
It was probably videos that is.
Yeah, like it was probably not even live. It was like, Mom, we recorded it. We can watch it.
Yeah, it's okay. It was live yesterday. We were watching it today. We watched the women's race, and we were in the middle of watching the men's race. And it's 8 o'clock. I gotta go do this stupid thing. I'll be back. Mom, I know you're watching this. Tell everybody how much fun you have watching mountain biking. Tell them.
Well, maybe if it had been like cool cyclocross instead of the lame version that you talk about usually. Sean here says, Carlos, did you step off the boat? No, this is a life preserver to keep me from drowning in Eric's mediocrity. Like, this is all I got. Like, I need whatever I could do to stay afloat. This is all I got. It's bad, man. It's bad. That horn upset my dog. It's unfortunate. That horn, your dog needs to learn to accept greatness. Greatness was thrust upon us. This was our moment to celebrate the vaunted episode 78. We need it. I know, right? That's just Quebec. These are facts.
That's not nice.
These are facts. Listen, there's a lot of places.
Just because it's true does not make it nice.
No, it doesn't. It does not. But yes. So for the most part, we'll have a little bit of fun. So chat. If there's stuff that you want to chat on, we'll hang out here and do a little bit of it. We're basically just kind of doing a little mini watch along for the Dallas game to go along with recording an episode. Plus, it saves me from having to edit. So that's pretty good. That's really what I'm shooting for here. I do enjoy watching the races with you. Oh, Kathy, helping him out. Look at you.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times I think that she's actually agreed with him on here.
I suspect foul play. I'm wondering if Eric got like the crumble cookie shipment. He goes, just agree with the first thing I say. Just make me look good, and this box is yours.
Wait, Mrs. Wade, I really appreciate you, and you are such a wonderful lady. But are you also taking the 5% more mature Monday into account here? And being nice to Eric because it's Monday.
No,
that's valid.
You have to understand,
that could be true.
Monday is trash night. If she wants her stinky trash taken out, she got to be nice.
So bribery.
So another form of bribery. Interesting.
Because it's not trash night.
Now, do you feel when it is so? If it's Monday is trash night, do you feel like grabbing a living Boston Bruin and throwing them out every single Monday? Like, that seems excessive. Are you sure about that? Like, every Monday?
No
exceptions.
No, I don't throw living Boston Bruins away. No.
Maybe you should. They're gonna reek to high heaven after some time. I like the emphatic hell no. I appreciate that, Kathy. Thank you. Appreciate that.
He doesn't care about 5% more mature Mondays.
Yep. Alas. Anyway, so for the most part, what's funny is that on the Friday, we covered a lot of it. I won't announce anything today, but there is something that we mentioned on Friday. That that may come into play, that we'll announce it once it's like official, but it is something we alluded to on Friday, which funny enough, it worked out. But I'll give the story probably in the next couple of weeks once we get a little bit closer to it. So just something to bear in mind. But if you know, you can pretty much figure it out if you read between the lines a little bit. And he's got Edmonton 4-1 tonight. I don't know. I'll be honest. Like, look, here's the thing. Edmonton winning wouldn't shock me. But the reality is I haven't seen the big offensive output from other team. Both teams have had their little struggles. Otter has played well. But it's going to be a matter of if the team can do a better job preventing the shots. Because last game in game 2, I think it was 16-5 shots in the first period or something like that. Like it was big discrepancy in shots. If you do that, then sure. Then that score is very plausible after that. If you do that kind of thing.
That game was weird because it's actually been for most of the playoffs reversed, where Dallas was limiting the other team to minimal shots, and that game was complete opposite. So.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just a matter of what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for them to actually remain competitive with it and actually keep fighting those battles. Because if you allow Edmonton to get that many shots in, shots are going to start going in. Like, it doesn't matter who the goaltender is. They're going to be able to get their clean shot. They'll be able to get some clean shots in there. That'll be happening. Maybe. But at the same time, you got to remember something very important, Zach. Doing that would give Eric joy.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
thing.
Actually, a better torture for Eric would be a permanent lifetime contract where he never gets to leave that room ever, whether the stream is on or not. Just throwing it out there.
I've been trying to get out of this for like 4 years now, and there's no way out.
Like all other aspects of your life, you do not actually have choices.
Listen, behind the scenes, here's some information.
Mm-hmm.
I announced behind closed doors to the guys, I'm done with this crap. I'm not doing this anymore. I refuse to participate. Lose my number. Don't bother me. You know what they did? They sent Yannick to my house. Yannick is a big boy. He's a veteran. He knows how to hurt me with just use.
And he intentionally goes without sleeves.
Yeah. He shows up, muscles out, tattoos out, and he can hurt me and bring me to my knees with like a pinky. All right.
That part's true. That part is 100% true.
That's what happens. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. I hate every second of it, and I'm not doing it anymore. Next thing I know, I open the door, no sleeves, Yannick. We got to talk, he says. Oh,
mm-hmm.
He talked, I listened. Well, here I am.
These are facts. It's all true.
Stupid.
Well, says, I feel like whoever scores the most goals tonight will win. Bold, sir. Bold. Going on a limb. I like the cut of his jib. I feel like he's onto something. He might be onto something.
It's possible. We'll have to wait and see, but it's possible.
It seems plausible. It seems like a reasonable enough opportunity. So I did have a little bit of fun. I've already put it on the Instagram, but I did want to have a quick thought on this. So I've got one of the cards that actually came in the mail. I'll actually show a better picture of it here. It'll be easier to see. But I do want to say one thing about this. And we've had some fun with the cup in the past. So I'll chat about it. So one of the latest Medano cards that I picked up, but I quickly want to show it, but then I also want to make a point about this. So here it is. Concept wise, I like it. It's a dark background with a gold paint pen. Looks good. I like it. It's solid. It's a good, decent design. I like the concept. Okay, cool. Effervescence. All right. I want to know who at Upper Deck went and got the thesaurus. Who was it? Was it you, Billy? It was you, wasn't it? I just want to know who at Upper Deck went we need a word. We need a long word that sounds fancy.
That's a spicy I word. That's a spicy I word if I've ever heard it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got my suspicions, man. I'm just saying, I got questions. I got questions, bro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely
spicy. It's a nice looking card. It's a good result. I like the result of the card. I'm a big fan of paint pen when it's done properly with a dark background. You do a paint pen with a dark background, this can work. There you go.
This is
Look at
another
him
one
with
of my friends. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I'm friends with Ray Bork also.
As part of being friends, though, so does he remember your name, Eric?
No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
That's
remember,
probably something in common with a lot of your friends.
yeah, it does happen a lot. They do
Mhm.
remember me. They remember their interactions with me.
They remember running away from you, you knife wielding maniac.
They remember the chase.
Yeah.
But rarely do they remember my name. But after I remind them who I am, they're very excited to see me.
Sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I have questions about that. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
So in the same vein, chat, a couple of things. I would love to get some other predictions. Anybody who wants to make a prediction on the Edmonton-Dallas game. So obviously that's coming up. Puck drop should be, I think we're 34 I've got here. So yeah, we should be underway, I think. Let me see what I've got here on my feed. Make sure I'm online here. Yeah, we're basically, I think we're still in the pregame, are we? Yeah, we're in the pregame. We'll get started in the next couple of minutes. That's the only problem, Eric, by the way. I like that it shows like 8:30 and it's already 8:35 and it's like, all right, they're just coming out. It's like, well, what's the point of 8:30? Call it like 8:55. Like, tell the truth. It's like they come out, then we do the anthem, then we do this, then we do that, and it's like, oh my goodness, come on.
Two anthems. Got to do 2 anthems tonight.
Got to do 2 anthems. That's true. The 2 anthems, though, is not like the least of my worries. Like, they're literally just coming out right now, and it's already like 5 minutes after. Like, come on, man, let's go.
I want to know what time puck drop is. That's the time that they should announce. Puck drop is at 8:30. Boom. Okay, flip it on, drop the puck, they go.
Yeah, just work backwards.
Pregame. Pregame should be on from 8 till 8:30. And if I'm in the mood to watch pregame, I'll show up for it.
That's one of the benefits, though, of having everything on mute all the time is that I can kind of skip through a lot of that. So, guys, I don't care. The pregame pomp and circumstance, get on with it. Just get on with the actual game. It would be great. Now, there is something I wanted to touch on since we got the opportunity here. I actually saw, so I've got all my safe searches that I go on eBay. So I've had 2 problems recently. One of them is that I actually had some nice cards that I wanted come up all at once. And I hate that because I hate it when like a big card comes up and then another big card comes up. Like, all right, well, this is going to mess up my budget for a while because I'll pick up pieces. So I do have some nice stuff for the Dennis PC that'll be forthcoming in the next little while. But some of it's at ComC and it's going to take a while. So it's going to take a while before I get my hands on it. But that's fine. But I did get a couple of nice Medano cards, including that one. That's one of the ones that I picked up. But I saw another one that came up on eBay. It came up on my safe search. And I'm like, this is cool. It's a nice card. But then I looked at it, I go, wait a minute, that looks familiar. And it's basically a UD Black card because I talked about the UD Black on Friday in one of the questions that was asked. It's a UD Black card. I'm actually going to show it, but I'll show what my problem is. The reason I can show it is because right now it's kind of in this murky, suspicious area for me. And I'll explain what I mean here. So I'll show the item, but then I'll also explain why I'm suspicious of it right now. Okay, so here it is. So Upper Deck Black Hockey. It's a double patch jersey card. Medano and Turco, 0809. So playing days Medano, great. Both players, great. And 2 nice paint pen autos. Sticking with the theme, right? We got 2 nice paint pen autos. Here's the thing. I already saw this card sell a month ago. This was during the expo. This is one of the cards I was watching a month ago at the expo. It was the same seller. And it went for like $400. Apparently, it never got paid. And in the great spirit of it, so same seller has put it up again. And the sad part is that when I go look at the auction, the bidding history, the winner is like 3,200 feedback. And the person underneath who bid a whole bunch of times was like 1,500 feedback. It's not the usual shill bidding pattern that you see, but the behavior is very similar. And in the end, it didn't get paid. So now this thing is back up here about a month later. And here we are again, same seller trying to sell it a second time. I'm like, things make you go,
Do you need it for your collection? Do you have, it's 3 copies.
Well, need is relative. Okay. Is it something I would like to have? Sure.
Okay, so you don't have that.
I do not have that card. I would like to have it under the right circumstances, but I am suspicious given the previous outcome of the same card.
Don't outbid yourself. You set a price that you're willing to pay, and that's it.
And that's what I did the first time. The first time, the number that I had in my head got blown out of the water, but now given what has occurred, it appears that there's a reason that I got blown out of the water.
And if it happens again, so be it, because you got to be careful in these situations. But
right now, I have an advantage in that I can afford to just sit back and watch this one. Like I said, it's not like I'm not getting nice cards in. It's like I'm getting plenty. So here's another printing plate. Here's a 1-of-1. Like I'm getting plenty of shit in. Both of those came in today. So it's not like there isn't stuff that is coming in as it is. It would be nice. It's at this point, it's kind of what we talked about the other day. It is a nice to have.
Right.
These cards are nice. Some of these are really neat. I love the UD Black, especially from that era. But I'm not going to kill myself over, especially since, like I said, I also picked up some other big cards recently. And some of them are still en route. And I'll share actually a couple. I can share a couple that are won and paid for. So they are en route. And I'll actually share one that I won just the other day. And in the same vein, same spirit. That's the reason why I'm not going to kill myself worrying about this card. It would be nice to have. But at the same time, like, I picked up this one from the new trilogy. Check that one out. Speaking of paint pens.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's a nice solid card. There's 2 versions. I actually was outbid on the regular version. And then I was able to get this one for not much more. This is the gold out of 24. So it's actually a much more limited card, but I was able to get this one. So it is a nice paint pen on there with like a puck type design. So I actually think it's pretty cool looking. Like I said, when it comes to the new sets, I pick and choose my pieces. I'm not going to chase after everything. I would like to have it under the right circumstances, and the price was right. So it works out.
Speaking of autographs and paint pens and things like that, I've recently made I changed my mind on something. And now when it comes to in-person autographs or purchase...
Brandon, watch this for 1 second. This is going to be fun. Watch this. I like this comment. You know why I like it? Hey, Will. Me too. I put him on mute. Me too. I got a button for that also.
So one of the things I've kind of decided to go in a different route with when it comes to autographs, because I have so many, and I have the opportunity to meet a lot of people to have them sign stuff, is I'm going to have everything signed in thin paint pen or Sharpie from now on. I no longer like the look, and I'm looking around all over the room. I no longer like the look of thicker paint pens or thicker, Sharpies. That's kind of what
Eric rejects the thickness.
Yeah, I just think the thinner stuff, and I'll show this one again. I show this every once in a while. It's one of my grails. Everyone's got different ones, and some people got a lot nicer stuff than me, but this is one of my grails. But look how clean that is in thin. Okay. I just think that is such a nicer look than, say, here's one that's thicker. Now that's not bad, right? But
I think they actually use. I'm not sure what the upper deck was going. So the first one was the 98-99 Sign of the Times. That was the Gretzky from 98-99 Sign of the Times. I think they were using. So the second one there, the Bobby Orr, was a Sharpie. Right. But I think the Gretzky, I believe they were using what's called a Stadler pen. So it's a Stadler brand, and they've actually got these thinner pens, and they're actually very good. They are good for autographs. They're actually quite good. But it's certain surfaces.
No, here's
I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
The missus actually found somewhere on Google of what most of the companies use on their signings, and you can buy them on Amazon. They'll have different different size tips that you can order for whatever thickness you choose, but they're really nice pens, and you can order them right on Amazon and get what most all of the companies use for their cards.
So, we were joking earlier, and I always like having a good time, but I do know Ray Bork. He does come in the shop. We have him sign stuff for us all the time. And
we also know, and it's also truthful that he doesn't remember your name half the time.
No, he doesn't. No, that was totally true.
That's also true. That is also true.
He knows who I am, does not remember my name. He could not care any less about that.
Hey, you with the face. I know you.
Yeah, I know your face. Yeah, but that's about it. That's what happened up in Toronto. Like, he knew exactly who I was when he walked in and saw me. He has no idea what my name is. All right. So anyway, I just want to show you the difference. I have this card. I had him sign it for me. And I want to show you I had him sign it in thin blue Sharpie. That came out really nice. If I had him in a regular, blue size, regular Sharpie, that wouldn't have come out that nice. So it's just something I've been thinking about, and I'm moving forward for whatever period of time until I change my mind again. I'm going to have everything done in thin pen.
So are you going to get all? You're going to get all of your 69 set redone?
Yannick was kind enough to stand in line for a couple of people for me at the expo in April, and he asked me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I would like you to have him sign in blue thin Sharpie." So yeah, that's what I'm going to go for moving forward, because the ones that I have that are these big thick Sharpies, they just, the person has to write their signature bigger. A lot of times they have, depending on their names, they have to try to fit it in the card in a lighter spot. Okay. Because, depending on how big the photo is on the card, what the background was what we were talking about earlier, it may not fit. So you may lose a lot of the signature on a dark background, especially like hockey pants, black hockey pants, So I've decided that thinner and cleaner and making it fit into the lighter spots of a card will look nicer. So that's where I'm going.
There you go. I'm just checking out the replay here. So Edmonton seems to have the first goal. I just want to see. Yeah, Hyman deflected it. Makes sense. Gotcha. Good evening, Orlando. Tom here. Good evening to you. Sad to hear Bill Walton. Yes. RIP Bill Walton. I feel lucky. Literally bought an auto of his Friday before the death price gouging started. Well, good timing for you. Good timing for you.
And I'll tell you something else seriously. 2 weeks ago, we were having discussions at work about, think of some people that, we could have come in, and what are we going to do next? And the owner of the business, Phil, had said that he was starting the attempt to have Bill come in. And I was very, very excited. I've always wanted to meet him. I was already starting to prepare like tons of questions, and thinking about, I'm not just going to have him do, a puck where I have, non-hockey players come in. I don't buy anything extra. I don't buy 8x10s and whatever. And I was thinking, all right, I am going to buy a ton of Bill Walton stuff because I love this guy. And we were talking. So Phil and I were talking today. It's like, oh my goodness, we were just discussing having him coming in, looking forward to the opportunity. And so yeah, it was really sad this morning when I saw that, because I was gearing myself up to have the opportunity to meet him. Not just get stuff signed, because I don't get stuff signed and sell it. That's the business does that. I don't. I was looking to get things signed, cherish, and hold for a personal collection, but I was really getting excited about spending time with them. And so I was a little sad this morning to hear that one of my basketball heroes has passed, and the fact that just 2 weeks ago we were talking about getting a chance to meet him. So it is really sad.
It is unfortunate. And when it comes to a lot of that stuff, you can't take it for granted. You can't assume there's going to be other opportunities. So you're going to have to take it for what it is. Look, we the running joke, the endless running joke was the time that there was the Medano signing, and then Brad had arranged something, and then I just stayed in bed. We had a lot of fun with that. But the reality is, I had actually met Medano at a signing already. And I've literally got hundreds of autograph items. So one more good or bad, or one more interaction wouldn't have made that much of a difference for me. That's a different conversation. I've had ample opportunity already in the past to be able to capitalize on that. Now, in the future, I may take advantage of that in the afternoon, like a reasonable person, not morning like a peasant. There'll be none of that nonsense.
Oh, no.
But at a more reasonable time, it's fine. But the point is that I've already had that opportunity, so I don't have any worries about that. But if it is something more of a be it a celebrity or an athlete or something that maybe you would like to, and maybe there is an opportunity to do that, and you would like to have that brief interaction, and it's brief. Let's be honest, most of those signings are like the briefest of brief interactions.
Right.
If that is what you want, you may wish to take advantage of that because you can't assume anything.
Right.
Like you never know. Look, part of the reason during the pandemic and the whole thing, part of the reason the Kobe thing happened so rapidly and it was so dramatic because Kobe was still a young guy in the grand scheme of things. Right. Nobody planned for Kobe to pass away when he did. So It kind of created, because in an alternate universe where he's still around, he's doing stuff and he's still signing things, and that goes on. He could have been making money on that circuit for years, doing other things, but then doing signings here and there sporadically, and there'd be plenty of even more Kobe items out there in the world. A lot of these athletes can have a long signing career, and like Johnny Bower's been dead for years, and he's still signing things.
I believe that is correct.
Even death doesn't necessarily stop them. Bob Feller and Johnny Bower have been signing things for decades, and they're dead.
No, Bobby Hull and Johnny Bower are still out there somewhere, just signing their names.
Yeah, and Leaf has Gordie Howe autos all the time. He's been dead for years.
Yeah, Gordie did a lot.
So the point is that if it's just about getting an autograph, it's not that difficult for most of these guys, especially these days now, because some of them have long signing careers. But yeah, if you want that other aspect of it, the in-person part, that's a different conversation. That's a slightly different thing.
And again, I do not take it for granted, and you guys know this. I do not take it for granted that I'm lucky enough to meet a lot of these guys, and hang out with them for a while. Sometimes go out to dinner with them or whatever, and it's awesome. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Everyone I get to meet, every time I get to hang out with these guys, it is just you have to quote stay cool, because nobody wants a fanboy around, but inside I'm bursting at the seams.
Well, this is the problem I have every expo, Brandon. It's like Eric fanboying so hard. It is painful. I don't know how Bobby deals with it. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing.
I really do enjoy it and appreciate it. But there's been many times where, I've had to stand in line, meet someone for like 30 seconds, get some stuff signed, say, hey, thank you so much for coming in. Pleasure to meet you, get a handshake, maybe a picture, and you're gone. It's 30 seconds. And, you try to make the most out of that 30 seconds. And that's enjoyable too. But over the last, 4 or 5 years or so, I've really been fortunate enough to be able to do a little bit more than that with some of these guys. And I don't take it for granted.
There you go.
A lot of fun.
So, Brandon, here's some deep analytical hockey analysis. I feel 0 shots in nearly 6 minutes is bad.
I already cut it off and then paying attention to the live.
There you go. You're focused. You're keyed in on it. I can do both. I'll be well. I'll watch. I'll let you know.
I had it up and I was like, yeah, this is not looking good. Let's just redirect the attention.
Hey, listen, I will hit the celebratory horn when they get the first shot on net. Let's see how long that takes. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
When is Carlos and Eric coming to AMG? I think Brad's gonna have to spring for the now Eric, we're not worried about. But I think Brad's gonna have to spring for the travel accommodation. I would actually love to go down to Nova Scotia. I've joked with Brad and Sherry. I actually wouldn't mind going down there. If for no other reason than, of course, it'd be fun to check out AMG and all that. But look, I already talked with Brad. Like, if I ever get down there, we're going to Keats. We're going to the Keats factory. Like, I got to, just, from the nostalgia of my university years. Alexander Keats was a staple of them days. So it's like, no, I'd have to go down there just, to pay homage to Keats. It's like, because there was a lot of Keats down in those years. A lot.
For me, my hatred for Brad aside, because we all know that I can't stand the guy, but if I were to take the time to go there, you wouldn't be able to see them. They work like crazy. Maybe I'd get this again, which is what I got in November. So I'm not doing it. No, he wants to see me. He can come here like he did a couple of years ago.
So do you think, Eric, in that scenario that you're talking about, do you think, would it trouble you if you get the royal wave and then I just send you pictures of me and Brad at the Keats factory, me and Brad and Sherry at dinner, and then like basically like I get to see all the hot spots that are, you know, like a guided tour, and then you get the royal wave?
Yes, that would bother me.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're super busy. Do not have any time. It's like, what are you guys doing? It's like, oh man, like the Keats factory tour was fantastic. It was great. Should have been great.
I wanted to, interact with them, mostly Sherry, because I can't stand Brad, but I know he comes with the package, so it's like, all right, whatever. And I wanted to, but no, too busy. That's all we got. 4 days of this from a distance, because you couldn't even become like near them. So I don't think I'm gonna take all my time and go to the Nova Scotias and go visiting.
Well, it's gonna be the same problem. You do realize it's gonna be the same problem in November. Brad and Sherry are going to be too busy for you. The Burrell is the Burrell. That's a different conversation. Now imagine if Bobbles and Ball Cards comes up, like, and Big Scott, and basically like everyone's too busy for you. And then of course we send pictures of everybody like group shot. Yeah. And then it's all of us and Peter Forsberg, the real one, not the fake one that you talk to. Like the real one. We get
Yeah.
We'd be great. Fantastic.
Amanda will hang out with me because she feels bad for me. And she's
I don't know about that. We had a lot of discussions at the last expo, and maybe she won't hang out with you either.
No.
It'll be like all of us. And real Peter Forsberg, not the fake one, and Marcel. And basically, it'll just be like this big, gigantic group photo and be like everyone, like literally everyone. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, but if I bring my wife again, everyone's going to want to hang out with her, and
but then it'll be a group shot of everyone and your wife, and you still won't be there. And like I said, no matter what, like it's fine.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to
abandoning Eric. Go on.
No, the Marcel thing. And,
okay, sure.
Oh God, what?
So Eric brings his daughter along, and
Yes.
Carlos, did you pay attention to the photo here? So in most circumstances, the celebrity or the star would be the person of focus, right? Like, three people, they would be in the middle, and, Do you notice who's in the middle of the photo?
Oh, of course. Like, listen, like
the
first
star
of all,
of the show.
Eric wants to shoehorn himself in near Marcel, first of all. And second, his daughter, like myself, is like, why are we so excited about the maintenance man? Like, I don't understand what we're so thrilled about here. It's like,
it made me think about it, and I had to go back just to confirm that's what I remembered seeing when he sent it. But you were saying the group photo thing. Could you imagine a group of people and Eric's like back there, like
please,
just trying to photobomb his way in, but he would be in the center, like doing his little, trying to get the fireworks to go off.
Pretty much, that's basically what would happen. Yeah,
with his crumble box.
No,
we
actually,
I
think it'd be pretty great if he tries to get Marcel's attention, but he just holds a big crumble box over his head. Like, you ever seen like
he needs to get a custom crumble box with Marcel's like face on it.
Nice. Hold on, Brandon. Based on this, officially, one shot on net. Let's go.
So going to that, I went and looked real quick because this, like I said, this is a weird change. However, I'm not worried because game one, I think Edmonton only had like 4 shots on goal in the first period, but then they outshot Dallas second and third period and won the game, obviously overtime. And then Last game, Dallas had only like 3 shots on goal or something like that in the first period, but outshot Edmonton in the second, third period and wound up winning the game. So it's like a trend right now. Whoever's winning the game has the least amount of shots in the first period, as long as they outshoot the other team in the second and third. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe it's.
Well, I think they're going to have to. They're going to have to do a little bit more work to avoid because they're down 2-0 now. So
yeah,
Edmonton is making the most of its shots. It's right now. Dallas has had a lot of trouble scoring, so you don't want to be down more. Basically, that's about as many goals as you can allow. You're basically at your limit right now. 3 goals is asking.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to go too good if Islanders already let 2 in.
If the Florida Rangers game didn't teach us anything, with and I think this number is correct. I'm doing it by memory, of course. With Florida having 108 shot attempts, not 108 shots on goal, but 108 shot attempts, and they still lost.
Mm-hmm.
Shots really don't matter.
They do. So let's make an important distinction though. There's shots and there's quality shots. So like just shots at random, yes, I agree. But I think if you really put a shot in a high traffic area and things like that, if you shoot it directly into the goalie's chest, well, that's a shot technically, but that's not really. I would qualify that as a quality shot. Could you do it? Yeah, sure, but you're not getting there. With the Florida stat that you're talking about, they had a lot of ones where they were going wide. Like really, there were shots.
Yeah,
but shots mostly in name only. Like
right.
It was enough to qualify, but not really a dangerous attempt.
That's why they didn't get credit for them on the actual statistic. But it was like 108, shot attempts, which is that's ludicrous, and you still lost.
Yeah, but you got to hit the net though. Like that's the problem is you have to hit the net for it to actually really do anything for you. So that's a big issue. That's basically how it works out. So Josh says, you know what's better than saying good evening, gentlemen, Eric, once a week? Doing it twice. Facts.
You know what's better than saying shut up, Josh, every day of the week? Nothing. Nothing's better than that. So shut up, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Josh says McDavid needs to win a cup to be one of the greatest. That would definitely help his case. I think he can be one of the greatest. Yes, it's possible. But he does need the championship. Like that's going to be critical to him. Look, we always tease, but we've Hockey Card Gong Show. They say a lot of things that I kind of make me kind of turn my head a little bit. But one of the things that they said that I will generally agree with is they were talking about, like in their minds, they were trying to get their head around the idea that everybody, friend of the channel, everybody's good friend, Marcel Dion, is at the expo and all these places so many times, and that he can be there and do that. And it's like, well, it's like, one of the all-time greatest goal scorers and point getters in league history, and he can just be hanging out and chilling. And yeah, people come by, but like it isn't like he's getting mobbed by the droves of people. And part of it is because he spent a lot of his career playing in LA. That's part of it. And they never won. He's arguably probably one of, if not the greatest player who actually never won a Stanley Cup. Part of it is the teams he played for and just luck and timing and everything. But the accolades, the numbers would suggest he should be one of the greatest. But when we talk about the greatest, how far down the depth chart do we have to go before somebody mentions Marcel Dion?
I think it's because of being in LA. I think if you
that's a big chunk of it.
Career in Detroit,
but I think winning a cup would have helped his case. Would have brought him into the conversation quicker.
Right. But even now with LA winning 2 cups, there's not too many everyday hockey fans that could name the stars of those LA Cup teams.
No, I don't think I'd agree with that.
I mean, it's tough to get.
That will still tell you every single person on the 94 Rangers team.
It's tough to get remembered and mentioned when you got guys like Robertson. I mean,
a solid point of game player, you mean? A decent, solid point of game player?
I'm just putting it out there. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Can we discuss that one of the biggest issues this Dallas team has right now is scoring? Isn't that kind of one of your boys' jobs?
Hey,
they've got 2 shots on net, Brandon. 2 shots on net.
It's early. It's early. It's only game 3. It's early. It's early.
It's only game 3. Yes, indeed. That's
it's
the part
technically
that
game one of a best of 5 now. That's where we're at.
Oh, there you go. He's reset the paradigm, Eric. He's reset the paradigm.
It's game one of a best of 5.
Okay.
Interesting.
Right.
That is an approach you could take to it. An approach, I suppose.
And you're losing that game one, so
that's okay. It's okay. We lost game 1 to Vegas. We lost game.
Well,
1
they've actually won. They've actually lost game 1 in all the series they played.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. So
it's okay.
They're about to lose this one.
There you go. Josh says, "Is Marcel Dion the guy who scored the first 3-point NBA history?" Yes.
Okay, I already said shut up, Josh.
He had the first 4-pointer,
and like everybody else, he ignored you. So this is correct, Josh. This is factual statements here.
So Marcel is a great example in hockey, probably the best example.
Of a 3-pointer. Yes, go on.
And Charles Barkley obviously is probably the best example in basketball, but there are a lot of greatest of all times that didn't win for one reason or another. So, Beckham never won a World Cup. But people still say he's one of the greatest soccer players of all time. And if Messi didn't win this last World Cup, which was his last opportunity, if he didn't win, were people going to say that he wasn't the greatest of all time? No.
Are you saying an MLS championship isn't going to do it for him? Like, come on, what are we talking about,
dude? Listen. I still have enough left in the tank with a fake hip and a back surgery and 30 extra pounds that I could go out and score a goal in the MLS. Come on.
Wow. Hold on. That seems bold, Brandon. I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued. I would love to see Bougie Eric try to score a goal in MLS.
I'm going
to suggest that Dallas would have more shots on goal than Eric would ever have in his MLS career.
I'll go get my college soccer gear out of the attic. We'll dust it off. We'll, get some oil on the leather of the cleats. Well, I'll get back out there. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll warm up. No problem.
What you're gonna find is as soon as Eric he warms up, he does his whole Saga dance and everything. Goes, all right, I'm ready. This is just like when I was in my youth. I'm going to do this exactly like I did back then. Somebody comes by and literally touches him. He's like, ah! He does a straight dive. He dives. It's like, that was the referee, Eric. That was the referee. Did you see he was wearing stripes?
Just fast. He scared me. You see how fast?
Like, oh, my God.
He went right by.
It's like he took a dive. Down goes Bougie. Down goes Bougie. Oh, my goodness. It's not good. It's terrible. It's awful. I could imagine he literally have a broken hip putting on the shoes. he's just tying the shoelaces.
Like, for that.
It's like they got
he's got the Velcro ones now.
I'm gonna put my feet way down there. Can someone else tie these? There's no way I can get those.
It's like, nope. Nope.
He's got the Hey Dude cleats.
Oh my goodness. This is terrible. This is awful. It's like, can he tear an ACL tying his shoelaces?
Yes, I could.
This is a possibility. I think we're going to have
way.
There you go. Vinny, fly out to Michigan next year. I'll get you a tryout for a third-tier pro soccer team. Yes. That right there, Vinny, that's content. That is glorious content.
Vinny, are you saying I don't still have a little magic left in the tank?
Brandon, I will pay for the Patreon on this shit. I will pay for the Patreon on this shit. I'm in. Let's go.
I was the starting forward on my college soccer team. Okay, I got a little left in the tank.
That was like in the 1740s. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we kicked around.
Was that at Peabody?
We kicked around coconuts.
Your cleats will stretch you. You put it in the dryer after the washer. Facts.
Shut up, Josh.
See, Brandon, for a not regular episode where we got nothing, it's like we're working on it, man. We're making it happen.
Mrs. Wade confirmed.
Oh, Kathy. He has Velcro on his cleats. Oh, my God.
Thanks, Mom.
So much help. You're getting all the support there. You're getting all the support, Eric, tonight. I got to be honest. You're getting all the support. Brandon, 3 shots. They're up to 3 shots. Practically an offensive explosion. Practically an offensive explosion.
I just want Sean to know I totally got his Roy Kent his reference.
His Roy Kent
They had
reference?
4 last game, so we're on pace. We're on
Sean,
There you
pace.
go.
Not everybody here on the panel gets your Roy Kent, Roy F. and Kent.
I didn't get that one. No, I did not get that one.
Yep.
So if you got the reference, then at least somebody got it. That's important.
I got it. I'm with you. Best ever.
All right, here we go. Jim in Florida says there must literally be 2 million Acuna cards listed on eBay today. I'm getting offers every 5. Actually, this is a good topic. This would actually be a good topic to touch on for a couple minutes. So Acuna joins the ranks of the walking wounded who got injured. He had I think it was an ACL injury on a non-contact play, which unfortunately, like the non-contact is the worst one. And it was literally like the meme. It was like a million Acuna collectors all of a sudden were silenced. Just
And
all
it's
vanishing.
another knee.
Yes, that's right. It was the other knee from last time. So obviously, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'd like to be more sympathetic, but at the end of the day, it happens. That's honestly, it's part of the game. It does happen. Injuries are part of it. Some injury luck is a form of luck in sports. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys who have invested a lot of money. So maybe this would be the question. If you're one of those guys, so let me ask this question. You're a person who actually invested in a lot of Acuna at this point. He's still a young guy. He's going to get that healed up. There's a good chance that they'll be able to figure something out with it, but not right away. Obviously, it's going to be a while before he's back up and running, you know, literally back up and running. Do you cut your losses now and run away? Or do you kind of just hold pat, you know, move some of it? Like, where would you play it if you actually were sitting on some stuff that you've already spent the money on? Like it's done. You spent it. Now what do you do?
I think he's going to be one of those guys that, I mean, his prices dropped the last time he had the injury, but then they recovered because he had the 40-40.
Oh, it was more than 40-40, but yes.
Yeah, well, he hit the 40-40 mark. He has the talent. It's just the question, like Jim here says, he's only played 2 full seasons out of the last 6. He's got the talent of a great player. He just doesn't. I can't even just point it to him because it's happening to so many guys today.
It is, yeah.
I don't know if it's the training, the workouts, the stress they're putting on. Like, Will would know more than likely any of us, but it's something with all these guys. They're getting hurt way too often. And
Steroids.
When you talk about the topic and remove Acuna from the conversation, when you talk about the topic of investing in cards, this is where the gamble gets injected into the hobby because there's so many variables that are happening with these players today. The injuries, the moving of teams so often, the legal situations that are happening so much. There's so many risks out there that you cannot legitimately call cards, especially of these young players, legitimate investments when there is such high risks involved with them. So can he recover? Obviously, you know, it's possible. Will he? That's the question mark.
I think it's fair. One of the things that I would throw out there, so kind of your question, here's the way I would put that. Let me think about it this way. So I do think, like, obviously, you know, Eric was talking about, you know, steroids and everything. I actually don't think it's that case for a lot of these guys. I think the problem is, regardless, their training method is that they work on explosiveness. It's the same thing as like the arm thing. I think there's an element of this where you're training for a certain style of game and you go back, look at the olden players. They're not physically as strong. They're not physically as fast, but here's the thing, but they're limber. Like their style was designed to be a more sustainable. Look, Cy Young pitched 57 trillion innings because he wasn't throwing 100% on every pitch. He was pitching. Greg Maddux had a full long career, but his fastball was never 100 miles an hour at any point in his career, ever. Even if he could have adjusted his mechanics slightly, done a little bit more weight work to do it, Greg Maddux won over 350 games. Why on earth? Why mess with something that isn't broken? The guy knew how to pitch. well, and he knew how to pitch effectively. So why not do that instead? Jamie Moyer was pitching well into his 40s, throwing junk because he understood how to pitch. He was pitching intelligent. He won 20 games as an older player pitching.
But there's too much money on the table for these guys today. And
but if you win 20 games, Brandon, you make money. Like if you're actually winning games, you're making money.
The thing is, though, it back in the day, though, the guys were playing to win the games. Today, they're playing to win the contracts. That's why I also injected in there that they're moving teams so often because they're chasing the money. And they think that by, working out and staying, just look at the build of the players today versus, I don't know, 30 years ago, even. Like it's completely different. Look at football. The players in football, they're these smaller but just lean, fast guys. It's not the big hogs and stuff, and even the receivers aren't like, or the running backs. I mean, hell, look at Jerome Bettis. He wasn't a small, sub 4.4 40-yard dash guy. He was big and would bowl you over, and it's just a different players playing the games today. And I think a lot of the way that they're going about things is for the contracts.
I think though, just to make the point here, I think yes, they're trying to do that to get the contract because now they've been ingrained in them that this is the way to do it. But the truth is, I still think there's a place in the game for effectiveness. If you get somebody who doesn't have the quote unquote prototypical build, but they hit for average, hit for power, and do what they're supposed to do, what they need to do, there's going to be a team that's like, yeah, I'll sign that guy. And if you're producing at an all-star MVP caliber, guess what? They don't give a crap what your body fat percentage is because they're going to sit there and go like, wait a minute, if I actually want production, and look, Big Papi wasn't like a physical specimen. No. But he was getting the job done. And in his last season, he still had a very strong season.
I'm going to use one of my players that I collect, and I'm going to actually use him because he got DFA'd today, and he's probably no longer going to be a national now. What screwed him up? Well, he suffered an injury in AAA in 2018. Soto got the bump to go up to the majors and move ahead of him. Soto started, taking off doing Soto things. Robles wasn't hitting bombs. He was a speed guy. He was smaller. He had, he was hitting for average in the minors, did good. He could steal bases. But he thought he needed more power because, well, he was on the Nationals and had this other kid, Juan Soto, hitting bombs. So he beefs up, completely ruins his approach at the plate. He wasn't as quick as he once was. And then he tried to revert his body back to get his speed back. And ever since, he's done nothing but get injured after injured after injured. And he just can't hit the ball anymore. So it's an example of where he was trying to change his body to be able to adjust his game. And it actually worked against him. And he may not even get signed. I mean, he's been terrible. So...
yeah, I think it's one of those things. So look, I'll put it this way. I'm not going to try to base this in science because I'm not qualified to do so. But I do think there is something to be said for the human body can take a certain amount of strain. The reason why I kind of point to this is I kind of laugh because they'll say like, well, what happened to the old timey players that used to pitch all these innings and do all, they were not exerting themselves at 100%. They understood that, well, if your job is to pitch to the end of the game, look, I don't care who you are. You want to run a marathon and you try to do it in a sprint and you keep going at a sprint, you'll keel over and die before you ever finish the marathon. That's not a marathon pace. That's not, there is a pacing for a marathon. And guess what? It's not 100% of your maximum speed out of the block. That's not actually how you win a marathon. You have to understand that.
Boston, listen, when I won the Boston Marathon a few years ago, I sprinted the whole thing. So everything you're saying is trash.
I don't think
Velcro cleats.
In Velcro cleats, absolutely. Uphill both ways. Facts.
You may laugh about this, and my mother will tell you.
She'll laugh about it too.
I had to go to school in elementary school. All right. And walk
uphill both ways?
Uphill both ways. because you come up a hill, you got to go down the hill.
And by the time you were about to go home, your parents had moved trying to get rid of you, and it was up a different hill. So you had to turn around and go the other direction.
The police told them they had to stop doing that, and it wasn't they were going to get in trouble, so they finally said they'd stop. But she'll tell you, and we were tough back then. If it rained, put a raincoat on. It snowed, put your gloves on. And we had to walk uphill both ways, no matter what the weather were. Nobody cared back then. So I actually had to do that.
Wow.
And it was over a mile.
Wow. Oh, man. Woo. Let me tell you. Woo.
So that's
crazy talk. Fact. Wow. Brandon, like, I'm moved by these words.
I think she was trying to kill me. She was trying to get pneumonia or something.
I think everybody was trying to take you out.
She was tired of making those damn cookies for you.
She was like, if I can get rid of this guy, like one way, like if I could just do it one time.
I'm like, Mom, can I get a ride to school? No, walk. I'm like, okay, I'm in 5th grade. Walk. Okay. It's snowing out. Here's some gloves. Bye-bye.
That you can go with it. That's the thing, I guess. Yeah, sure.
That's how it was. And there was plenty of us walking. I wasn't the only one.
I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure, Brandon, that I had my distances right, because we're going kilometers to miles and everything. I wanted to make sure I go. So all right. So 1.6 kilometers is a mile. A whole 1.6 kilometers. So based on Eric's math, back in my youth's, my high school was 2 miles away. And they didn't close it for shit. It's like, it's a blizzard. Walk it. Oh, man. Come on. You're killing me, dude. You're killing me, bro. There you go. Watch for lightning bolts. That's right, Kathy. Thank you.
She knows it's true. She just doesn't want to be seen as a bad mom. But I'm telling you, we had a steep hill, too. It wasn't like a hill like this. I mean, no, this thing was huge. Especially if you got little legs. And you're in like the 4th grade.
Wow. Josh says Eric would have rode his bike, but they weren't invented yet. Truth.
Okay. I'll say this again. Shut up, Josh.
Josh, you're allowed to reject his request. I would. Just to follow the theme with everybody else. Think about it. It's a tough life, Brandon. Tough life. Had to walk a whole mile. Uphill both ways. It
was over a mile.
Over a mile. Ooh.
Well, I don't think I could have walked to my elementary school. It was probably
dinosaurs would have eaten you.
15 miles away from where I live, so I don't think that would have worked.
Well, not with that attitude, Brandon. Not with that attitude. It's like you're taking this. It's like you, my friend, are bringing a bad attitude into this. You need a positive can-do attitude and probably a bicycle and a rocket. It would help.
Yeah, nah, it wasn't happening.
Eric cyclocrosses like 15 miles now. Isn't that his thing?
Yeah, I do it now, but back then I couldn't.
Actually, that was during the Great Depression. Eric's parents had bigger concerns. Truth.
This show gives me depression.
But is it a Great Depression or an average depression?
Depends on the episode. I'm leaning towards great tonight.
Wow. We'll get John Steinbeck on it. He can chronicle your plight.
If Josh keeps talking, it's definitely going to be great.
That could be worse, man.
Have I ever mentioned I don't like him? Has that ever been mentioned?
I've heard these words.
Okay.
I don't think you mean them. I think secretly you appreciate Josh's input, his feedback on these matters.
No, I don't appreciate Josh at all.
Are you sure?
No, he's a big stupid face. I don't like him.
I don't know. I feel like there's some appreciation. There's some appreciate you, bro, in you. I can tell. I can see it.
There's a bunch of you're a big stupid face, and I hate you.
So, folks, we're in the kind of watch along portion of it. I've kind of got it on the screen here, counting the singular digit shots, kind of doing that. But curious if there's anything thoughts wise or anything that you guys wanted to kind of chat on for a couple of minutes here. We'll hang out for a little bit and then we'll take off in a little while here. But it was more than anything just a fun little live episode, kind of a little bonus. At the same time, like I said, there wasn't anything. The news has been pretty much covered. We talked about the $2 million heist. Eric promised to return the cards. He said he was sorry, and then we moved on. Yeah, so I feel like I feel like we've moved on as people.
Did anybody just real because it's a topic I found intriguing, and we kind of, I don't know if you've seen too much of it. I don't know if he did a video of it. Sure. But that estate sale thing that Neo shared in the Discord, that was it was an estate sale find of I don't know where it was at, but a family was setting up to do an estate sale and they found millions of dollars in like exquisite LeBrons and stuff like that.
Yes. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay. Now I remember what you're talking about. Okay. I'll see if I can find the article in question. I think I know what you're talking about. And
I don't know if he did a video on it or anything like that. I know he shared the article, but
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can locate it here. If I can find it, actually, I can showcase it, but I just got to see if I can locate the link. You'll have to bear with me.
I just thought it was neat because I'm not saying there's millions of dollars of cards found all the time, but it was a cool example of how many times there's like stuff just stashed away or tucked away that even families don't know that these people have and stuff. And it's part of the, like with what I'm doing, why it's so exciting to go to some of these sales and stuff, because you just never know what the hell you're going to find. There's some cool stuff out there that people have hoarded or collected or whatever, stashed away, and you just never know.
When I die, my family is going to unleash the greatest Reggie Lemlin collection on earth. And people are going
and by that you mean the only collection on earth. Literally the only one.
That's out of 7. Yeah.
It's not the greatest, Eric.
That's acetate.
It is not the greatest. And I'm going to tell you why.
The default, it has to be.
I've not seen any leprechauns.
It's true. We do need a good leprechaun card.
No, we don't need a good leprechaun at all.
We need
not the greatest until there's leprechauns.
No, nobody needs that.
There you go. The gold Bedard found yet. Eric's hoarding it right now. Found like 10 LeBron and 10 Kobe 101 autos. Yes, I was able to find this. So the Eric Whiteback account has it. So hold on. I can actually show you the X post. I've got that here. So we can show that. And there's a little video accompanying it here. It is quite the fancy collection of items, quite the fancy collection of things. Everything that's a Jordan autograph is very expensive. Just if you see a Jordan autograph, it's expensive, very expensive.
Wow.
Almost Reggie Lemon expensive.
Almost.
Yeah. The other interesting part is like they said the family had.
This was found in one collection, Eric, like one grouping.
Oh my God.
Like that's value. Like the basketball market right now is still even with the decline, Jordan autographs and memorabilia is still going for big money.
Crazy.
Well, it's mostly all exquisite.
Yeah, like it's high end, super high end Jordan like fanciness. For the Jordan guys are salivating themselves right now. Wow. And there's some Kobe, like that's big time stuff. Yeah, again, don't have to be a basketball guy to know that there's a lot of zeros involved in this business.
Oh, I'd take all of them. Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah, and from one collection that somebody accumulated, that's extremely impressive.
And it's like, obviously, this was a very wealthy individual.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, they didn't know that this person had it, and they pulled them all. That's a lot of money in product. Like, exquisite was nowhere near like what boxes are costing today, but
it's still the highest end product we had at the time. It was still easily the highest end product.
It was. I'm trying to remember. It was probably a couple $100 a box for exquisite, which at the time was, like you said, the top tier stuff. Yeah. So to hit all of this is just insane.
Look at that. Oh,
still same collection.
I want that. I'll take that.
There was a lot of money spent, but a lot of money hit.
Oh,
So
wow.
so actually, so to Brandon's point, let's touch on this. So actually, I think this is a valid topic. I think it's going to get an opportunity to get a refill, but like it's a valid topic here. This is one collection that today, even with the basketball market having come back down relative to where it was at its apex. Now imagine at its apex. Imagine like peak COVID.
Shit.
Like it's like would have been tens of millions. Like it would have been stupid how much money there would have been. But even still, tons. This is millions. Still today, it's millions. This was hidden in a collection that has only surfaced now. We've talked about this before. How many collections of vintage, modern, anything you like, high-end stuff, whatever. Most people are not on social media. And there's a lot of gigantic collections and gigantic collectors that are not participating in the YouTube and Instagram and all those things. They've got these pieces that are hidden in these boxes. This is an extreme example, but there's plenty of collections that still hold a lot of value that are sitting in boxes as we speak that are yet to see the light of day until eventually they do.
And
kind of interesting discussion.
This collection wasn't even known by the person's family.
And that's the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think about like how many big collections have not seen the light of day, and only the people that know, the select inner circle may know, and that's it. Everybody else is not privy to it. And they're just sitting there ready to be found at some point in the future when this person passes away or when they finally decide to divest themselves or whatever. And we have no idea until that happens.
Has there been an estimate over what these are worth?
So here, Jim says initial estimate around 10. It wouldn't shock me if it was in that range because you got to keep in mind, all of those were great cards, but those Jordan Exquisites, the Jordan Exquisites alone are massive. But then throw in the Larry Bird, throw in the Kobe, throw in a Magic Johnson, and all exquisite. Like there's a lot of super high-end product. There are basketball collectors with deep pockets who are salivating at the opportunity. They would love nothing more than to throw money. They're like the kids in the neighborhood that I'm throwing bricks of money at. So they're like, please take my money. Let me throw it at you.
I would very much like to get a Larry Bird jersey and or patch auto for my collection. I would really, really like that. That would sit on my desk. That wouldn't go in a box and in the closet. That would be on my desk for the rest of my life.
Well, that collection right there was also, just something to mention about it. We're sitting here talking about how valuable it was and how awesome it is. And they're all basically in one touches. They're not graded. This person was buying, opening, pulling out the names that he knew were good or whatever. I would assume there's probably the whole shebang from all the boxes that were open. I don't think that they would have just kept the big names, but who knows? But they were all taken care of, and they were all obviously put away, but they weren't graded and stuff. Like today, oh, well, you pull it out of the pack, you send it in, you get it graded. This person tucked them away, and they're still worth millions. Like, the good cards are going to be good value, like in or out of a slab.
Yeah, but just bear in mind, though, like one important factor that we want to consider here, and this is kind of an important piece to discuss, is that for this collector, whoever they were, they didn't need to. Like, if it's already in your collection, you're hanging on to it. But to be clear, on the other side of the equation, if somebody wants to do that for their purposes, they can. Like I joke about the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But, like I'll go buy stuff on ComC, and when the stuff's already on ComC, I have the ability with a button to go send it off to CGC or whatever. And when it comes to the wrestling, CGC is actually pretty good about that. But I'll be honest, like I bought those PMGs and I joke with the guys and I showed them my little hoard, and I've added a couple more to the hoard. But I'll go send them off to CG. One of them came back at 10. It's a duplicate for me. I already have them. Like I literally have them here. But I've got extra ones. But one of the ones that I had extra is a 10. Now, did I need to have it graded? Absolutely not. Didn't need to. There's really no reason for me to do it. But it was a nice looking copy, and I like the holder. So to me, it's a fancy holder. So I just put it in a nice holder. But it came back at 10 because it's a clean copy.
What did I tell y'all? I have over 600 slabs or something, and that's after downsizing the graded collection, because it is fun and it's nice to display them and everything. My point was the good cards don't even need the slabs
No.
to be millions.
Yeah, but all I'm getting at is both sides of this conversation can both be accurate. Do they need to be in those holders? No, they don't. But if somebody wants to do that for their own purposes, then that's fine, because it can display a certain way if that's what they want to do, or they collect graded cards and they want it for consistency. That's fine. But again, it's an added cost, and if you don't need it, if a one touch is getting the job done for you, then just put in a one touch and be done with it. Like, it's perfectly fine. And for cards like that, there's no the collector who will buy it can then make the decision for themselves. There's somebody who will be buying those cards, and they may leave it as is. They may send it in for grading, but that's their call. Once they bought it, they can do with it as they wish, and we'll see. And that actually leads me down another thought as well. But that was a good call out, Brandon. That's a really good kind of little mini topic here. Kobe's never signing any more cards. Very true. Jim says, personally, I think there's still more unopened wax from the 50s and 60s than people think. It's possible. It's possible. It gets harder every year that goes by, but you never know. There's some houses that are sitting there that nobody has really explored fully, and there's basements and crawl. Paul can go find us in the crawl spaces, but we'll send Paul to the crawl spaces, and he'll go explore for us. But I'm sure there's some stuff out there. I've never seen an exquisite collection like that, even though they're 20 or so years old. You don't see stuff like that. Maybe 1 or 2 cards to a whole card show, and but that's a common issue that happens to a lot of those 90s and 2000s big pieces. They've been stowed away in collections for a long time. And what will happen is if they do surface, it's going to be like that. It's going to be in a horde. It's going to be in a bunch all at once because somebody collected a bunch.
You have to remember too that early 2000s stuff, there were still people in the hobby, obviously, but it was nowhere where it is today. A lot of the people from the 80s and 90s had moved out, and it didn't have a huge resurgence yet. And there's still a lot. Well, I don't want to say a lot. There is still product of that sealed like everything else. In fact, I had a buddy of mine message me a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he knew a guy that had 7 sealed boxes of 03 Exquisite Basketball, the LeBron year. But I remember buying it probably, if I had to say 04, 05 range. I had a buddy named Dan when I worked at Cummins, and me and him would go in, not necessarily on Exquisite, but we did open a lot of Ultimate Collection, and we would go in half on cases because you could order them for blowout, and they weren't extremely expensive in today's terms. But we would order a half case or order a case and split it, and then sell whatever we hit and split the money and order another case or whatever. It was a lot of fun. So, but there was a lot less of an audience in the hobby at that time too. So
I agree with that. That's always been one of the things that kind of occurs with a lot of that stuff is that hindsight is 20/20 because if everybody had thought the same thing at the same time, it would have been more expensive at that time. So a lot of people took advantage of the fact that, it's not on everybody's radar. But again, going back to your point from earlier, those were exquisite cards. So it's not like they were cheap when they came out either. You still had to pay a lot of money back then at the time.
A lot of those, there was a massive collection. I believe Shine owns it now. But there was a guy in Puerto Rico that had a crap ton of the 03 Exquisite RPAs and stuff like that. And I think Shine ended up buying them off the guy, or at least part of that collection. But it was actually called the Puerto Rican collection. So to his point there about China, a lot of it does get sent to foreign countries or winds up in foreign countries too. So
yeah. Well, the whole China thing was because the way they structured their system, a lot of people who had the opportunity were sitting on a lot of cash and would look for assets to buy. And basically collectibles was one avenue. Property was another avenue. Like there's a lot of different things. But the point is there would be these people who would be sitting there with cash looking for things to buy that would fit. But there were some hardcore collectors who were also sitting on this cash and were able to then make aggressive. You got to think, go back to the 90s and early 2000s. Somebody comes to you and you got this Jordan card. It's a nice Jordan card, like a really nice Jordan card. And somebody goes and offers you $2,000 in like 1990s dollars. And you're sitting there like, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of cash. And basically they say cash, like straight up, no problem, cash, no questions asked, done deal. Depending on what you get holding, depending on what you're sitting on, like that's massive amount of money at the time. And you're not even worried about 20 years down the road when you're like, oh man, it's like $250,000. It's like, well, nobody was thinking about that in 1998.
Yep, I still have one of the crushing blows of my collecting experience. I don't know if I've shared the story on here or not, but I will never forget it. 02-03 finest basketball. They had the draft redemptions and the little mini box things. They still do find a similar way today. And I pulled the number 2 pick. And I thought, okay, I can't lose. It's either LeBron or Carmelo Anthony. I can't lose. And yeah, welcome to Darko Milicic. I thought I had such a huge card, and that didn't play out too well.
Bobby Uger said you missed it by that much.
Yeah.
That much. Tragic. So this actually reminded me of one other little topic that came up. I was watching, like I said, watching some YouTube, and now we're in the second period, and we're still at 3 shots. 3 shots. Working on it, so you know.
Yeah, they're heating up. They don't want to melt the ice.
Yes. Hold on. I think that was a 4th shot. Oh, 4th shot. Not a very strong shot, but a shot. Nonetheless, it was a shot. Oh my God, another shot. Oh my God.
I told you.
It's practically a flurry. It's a flurry. They're going crazy. So anyway, what I was going to say was, so I was watching YouTube and I was watching Chris from Missouri. He's one of the vintage guys who does a lot of those things. I laughed though. His video amused me. He was talking about this thing and he had this whole story about it and everything. So like, long story short, he had worked on using the checklist of I guess it's the Hall of Fame rookie cards, I think is what it was. He was basically basing it off of the PSA set registry, but he wasn't doing it by registry. He was just getting the cards, which is fine. All well and good. You're just using the checklist. That's fine. So anyway, the point of the story was that he had finished the set because he had gotten all the Hall of Famers in it. And then obviously more Hall of Famers came down the line and he added like Joe Mauer and a couple of the more current guys that were added into it. And his point was, but the thing is, the way he phrased it was almost like this crazy epiphany. And that's the part that kind of amused me. And he was sitting there like, when he first finished it, he was so excited because I don't remember what the last card was, but I think it was some vintage card that he picked up, which was the last one that he needed to complete it. But then with the newer guys, it was like his newer one was like, I want to say Joe Mauer and maybe Big Papi. I think those were the ones that he added to finish the collection again, basically. Because every year more Hall of Famers come in, that set keeps changing over time. But he basically, his implication was that he wasn't as excited to finish it the second time because the level of them wasn't the same tier as like the first time. And I'm sitting there like, that's basically what happens in any set. Not, some of them are commons in relative, these are all Hall of Famers, but like there's Harold Baines and there's Mickey Mantle. Like there's a difference between these things. They're technically all part of that set. That's the reason I'm not a big set builder anymore. I can't get as excited about the base cards, but he tried to make it in his head. He tried to make it a thing of the modern versus vintage. No, my dude, if you're working a vintage set and it's a common card, you're just not going to be as excited about it. It's just the way it is.
This is something that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And actually, since we had the topic several weeks ago with the Wemby and the unlicensed stuff and everything else.
Sure.
This and Victor, this isn't to ruffle your feathers.
Scandalous, Eric, scandalous.
But I am beginning to think, and in my personal opinion, in my personal collecting,
Eric, we got to protect ourselves. Hold on.
I feel like rookie cards are irrelevant today.
What the hell? Oh.
if you look at the future and talking about what you were just talking about with Chris, I think that's his name, Chris from Missouri, right?
Yeah, Chris
I
from
met
Missouri.
him actually at the 2021 National. I bought a Larry Doby that he was looking at, but
Okay.
my reasoning for this is
They're tied in shots. Oh my God. Go on. Sorry. Please continue.
There are so many different cards out there today with this little rookie shield or rookie year card or however you want to phrase it, that they just feel irrelevant. Like these guys are getting more cards than some of the older players had in their entire career. Like in their first year, it's a lot of them have more cards before they even make the major leagues in baseball than some of the guys had in their entire career.
Yeah, you're 100% right. They flooded the modern day cards are flooding the market with rookies. I mean, whether it be hockey or anybody. I mean, we look at Bedard, right? How many rookie cards is this kid gonna have?
Right.
You know,
And
there's plus the parallels and all this and all the different products and
why were the vintage cards so special? Like, look at Hank Aaron. What is his rookie? There's no question what his rookie is,
right?
Because he had one
since
card.
You mentioned Victor, his ears were burning. He heard you.
He's like Beetlejuice.
It's not even.
By the way, this is a big moment for you. Dallas has scored, and it's your boy.
I told you they're just heating up. They didn't want to melt the ice, but no, my I've been looking back on it, and like, you know, look at a guy like Jackie Robinson. There's always the debate of the Leaf or the Bowman, okay? And you technically could go with either, because then there's the argument of whether the Leaf is 48 or 49, etc. And then you look at, he does have a couple others that are around the rookie time period, but it's such a limited amount of cards of those guys back then that you could say this is their rookie. And that card, even if it is an ugly card, it was always wanted because it was special. It was their rookie card. Today, there's like more cards, like what, 40 some parallels than just a chrome or a prism product. And
more than that, it's somewhere in the 60s now.
Yeah, well, you think about that, that's more cards in one damn product, just different colors or designs or whatever, serial numbers, than many of these players had their entire career. And it just feels like it's getting less and less and less and less of a special thing. And when you were mentioning that with Chris, and he's like, I'm not excited about it. Think of the future. Like, think of people 20 years or 30 years, however long, with players retiring and then maybe getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're going to be like, what the hell do I pick? They're going to have to go with whatever PSA or whoever decides is the registry card, because there are going to be so many of them out there. And like, they just feel like they're getting irrelevant. And that's just my own personal take. Some people may want to chase every single one of them, and that's fine too. But I really don't care about rookie cards anymore. I am going for simply card design and image. I really could care less if it's a rookie or third, fifth year, whatever. I don't care if it's a unlicensed card. Design and image is the two important things now.
This blasphemy needs to end. He's always making these takes on Monday nights. Okay, he's ruining the show. We get nothing but complaints. The numbers are dropping by the week, and I'm getting accosted in public because stuff he says. All right.
So what you're saying is he's the anti-meta piece.
Yeah, we need to fill that upper box.
So I'm telling the truth
with a new face. What we need to do. All right. Oh God. He's been kicked off shows before.
Yes, that is true.
He knows what it's like. It isn't going to be a shock to him when we boot him. Good Good Lord. No wonder he got kicked off other shows saying shit like this all the time.
Am I, dare I say, hurting feelings, Eric?
It sounds like you're hurting some feelings, man. I don't know.
Some people like collecting rookie cards, okay? Some people think collecting rookie cards is a lot of fun.
I said it was my opinion. I'm not poo-pooing on anybody else's parade.
Oh, you're poo-pooing. You're a poo-pooer.
You don't even collect rookie cards. You collect 1969-70 tops. How many freaking rookies are in that set?
Couple.
This makes me happy in ways I can't describe.
Savard is in there. That's the big one.
My goodness, the Serge Savard. Speak of excitement. So anyway, so two things. I appreciated Brandon's scandalousness. I appreciated his scandalous take. So two things. First one is that just to be on the on the fair side of this, my contention, the reason I got a kick out of the video was that Chris from Missouri was doing it as a modern versus vintage thing. And he was trying to talk. It was a psychological block that he had. It's like it had nothing to do with the cards themselves. It was more of a psychological block where he values the modern less than the vintage. And I go, well, that's your business. But at the same time, you're the one who chose to collect this subset. If you collect the set, and I don't give a crap about 3/4 of the common cards. That's why I'm using the example of a set. You're doing a set build. Well, if I don't give a crap about the commons and I can't make myself excited about the commons, and you still want to build the set, you still need the commons. If you're going to finish the set, you need them anyway. So like. That's part of the game. So suck it up and deal with it. But second side of it, as a person who collects both, like I can find enjoyment in both because of what I'm looking for to get out of the collecting experience. I talked about like this card. I've made fun of a lot of cup cards, and I added it to my collection pretty recently. Also from the cup, I added that basics. So there was the Medano autograph. It was basics. But I thought the design was, in fact, so basic. Oh, I've got one. Yep, I got it. I think I got it over here. Hold on. Let's see if I got it here.
I looked at the Ottinger, but then I couldn't do it.
Not here. There you gotta listen, Brandon. You gotta watch the mail days, man. Like I had it, I included it in there. But I'll be honest. But given that I have one in my possession, I can judge it more so because I can look right at it and I go like. Yeah, Billy, it's foil. It's really lame foil. Like not super impressed, bro.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to handle this in a second.
Your boy scored again.
Just warming up.
Finally, the average point of game player finally makes some use out of himself.
I'm not gonna.
I said it earlier. I literally predicted this. When we were talking about Marcel earlier, I said it's hard to be recognized.
Talked about Marcel earlier. Yes. So anyway, so that's the first part of it. The first part of it was I was making fun of the Chris Missouri thing. Well, like again, lightheartedly, but like I don't know the dude from Adam, but I'm sitting there like what he's talking about, like it's not even a real good point because it's like, okay, so you're telling me about your psychological problem. Come on, get out of here, buddy. But at the same time. Look, and this is where I'm gonna have some fun now. I let Brandon have his scandalousness, but I'm gonna have a little fun here in a minute. So Tom agrees with you entirely. Too many options, which is fair. That part of it, I think is fair. If you think the too many options that loots it and that makes it less fun for you, that is a completely valid take. Look, I don't mind arguing with you, but I think that's a valid take.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you have it. It is yours. You can have that one. So Tom says, I personally think there's so many options for rookies that make the subsequent veterans prints even less desirable because already 1,000 cards for rookie. Because thinking the other day, since you like some modern, fair enough. If you don't communicate scoring 2 goals, that is true. Jason Robertson is that. Here you go, Brandon. Ship all rookie cards to PO Box. Love it. A reimburse for shipping. Look at your generosity, sir. We might have to take him up on it because my take is actually different than Brandon's in the sense that I just think rookie cards in general are garbage. I think it's a stupid designation that doesn't need to exist. I think the 54 Topps Aaron stands on its own. If it was never the rookie, it's still good. It's still a good card. It's a great card. Nothing wrong with it. Leave it be.
I like rookie cards of players. I just think
I will say, speaking of the 54, I do not like this. What the hell they call it? The Chrome set that they did.
You talking about the platinum? Platinum
Yes,
edition?
the platinum anniversary, and
Yeah, that's
it's
the new. That's the new
54.
one. The 54 is the new one that came out. The new platinum. Yeah,
Yeah, I do not like them at all.
not a fan.
It's no. Some of the cards are they're like a damn mirror, and you can hardly see like the names or any. I just don't like them.
Okay.
I think certain rookie cards are fantastic, and you know.
But Eric, here's the question. Again, and this is the hypothetical I play because we can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's done. We can't put it back. But Eric, if there was no rookie card and it's a 71-72 Marcel Dion, are you telling me you don't like it if it's not a rookie?
No, of course I like it.
So then what's the difference?
I like having his first card.
Okay, but it's still his first card. Doesn't change. But whether I call it a rookie card or not, it's still his first card.
Oh, good Christ. Just don't. It can't be him again. Is it him again? I'll kill myself.
I think it's somebody else. I think it's somebody else. Yes, I do, Victor. Yes, I do. But again, Jordan. Man of peace.
Look at Jordan. Whether you argue his star or whether you argue that it's the Fleer. They both weren't from his.
So this one was Wyatt Johnston. This was Wyatt Johnston.
Oh God.
Another good kid. There
you go.
All I could see was the on. And I'm
it's Wyatt Johnston. It's Wyatt Johnston. It's Wyatt Johnston. It's Wyatt Johnston. It's all good. It's all good. That's his 8th goal of the playoffs, man. His 8th goal of playoffs. Kid's playing good.
He's talented and he's young. He just turned 21.
His young gun will be going off. Like he scores a couple more goals. His young gun's already doing very well. But
he's a player.
Really take off.
He's one that goes to what I was talking about though. Like I think I talked about this in the podcast maybe, or I don't know, maybe it was private with y'all, but I was looking at his cards and really there wasn't many at all.
Because right now we're still in the product backlog with them. We're still in the backlog with it. We haven't been able to catch up because so now to your point from earlier, here's a question for you. And we already saw this play out with Robertson. Wyatt Johnston is playing phenomenally well. He's having a great playoff as well. Imagine if his Cup RPA was available. The people would lose their minds.
And imagine what it's going to be when it does become available.
House.
Oh, yeah.
Craziness. Scandalous. All over the place. I don't tell you, Victor. There's just a lot. There's just a lot of hate. Again, as a man of peace, I can't relate. Man of peace. But no, listen. I think one of the greatest crimes that was ever done on the hobby was the invention of the rookie card. I think the rookie card is basically what ruined the hobby. The rookie card is basically what ruined the hobby. It's not Jeff Wilson ruining the hobby I love. It's the rookie card ruining the hobby I love.
Is it the rookie card or the rookie card rules?
Listen. I love. Look, Victor's not wrong. I love to hate on the rookie card. I really do. I do love to hate on. But look, I'm actually being completely serious. Do you have any idea how much of a headache we could all save if we just said, fuck the rookie card? Who gives a shit? I don't care. There's no reason for me to care. The only people that care about the rookie card are rookie card collectors and the others who want to charge a premium because it's a rookie card. That is it. Well, those are the only people that care.
Think of it too, though. Like when let's just use baseball as the example, but it's going to move towards football and basketball likely here
and Jim,
soon.
Yes, the answer is yes. To your question, the answer is yes.
When you talk about the significance of the rookie in baseball, the card that most people value or chase, I guess you would say,
the 52 tops.
No, I'm not going that far back. I'm talking even current day.
Okay, sure.
I'm keeping it in current market, but it's the first Bowman, which isn't a rookie card.
True. Fair enough. Yeah.
And then, whatever, I don't know how it's going to play out with football and basketball, but they've already got the Bowman U stuff with the first Bowman thing, which likely could wind up being collegiate stuff. And if that follows the same trend as baseball, which are just airbrushed jerseys, it's not a rookie card at all. It's guys not even in the big leagues. So, and football and basketball will be a little bit different because they don't have the minors like baseball does, but it's just something I've thought about where I think the rookie significance it's not like it used to be.
Right. But I think so. Look, just to be clear on this point, the reason again, there's both serious and tongue in cheek. There's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. You decide what the ratio is. I leave it to you to decide. But the point is that when we're talking about this, there's two different conversations. There's the folks having the conversation on the definition and working out the logistics of it and everything else. I'm taking the alternate approach where I'm just sitting there going like, guys, you're arguing about a designation. You're arguing about a label. And why do we even care what the label is? Because of what the two things I just said. There's the folks that want to collect. If you're a rookie card collector, then you need to know what the definition is. Then it is important to know exactly which cards qualify and which cards do not. You need to have the classification, because otherwise then what are we collecting in this particular year? Which cards qualify? Which cards do not qualify? I need to know, because then that's going to help me figure out what's on my checklist, so to speak. So it's important. I need to know the answer to this question. Alternatively, the other side is the dealer. Well, the dealer would like everything to be a rookie card, because then if everything's a rookie card, then, hey, a rookie card, I got to charge you extra for that. That's a rookie card, like it's a rookie. And it's like nothing changed. If it wasn't a rookie card, you would give whatever the market would bear. But if you say it's a rookie card, all of a sudden these people are like, oh my God, I got to have it. I got to have it. It's a rookie card. Like, I got to have it. So therefore, you increase demand simply by applying the label on it. It is extremely important. So as soon as you apply that label, it's like adding an extra thing that ups the price. And that's why it's important. That's why it becomes significant to get the definition right.
Just as an example of what you're saying, where that adds value to it, there's cards that Panini has in baseball currently of players that have never even made their debut in the major leagues with the rookie card logo on it. Some even say rookie on them, and people are paying up for them, and the players aren't even they've never even made their debut. So it shows what the power of a little symbol or a word adds to the value of a card. So,
well, exactly. So that's why I say the importance of it takes on that next level. So it becomes that next tier. I appreciate it, Victor. Now, Victor, just we're having a little bit of fun here. Do you want to hop on here and chime in on this for a couple of minutes? Like I said, we're mostly having kind of a watch along hangout. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer. But if you want to pop on,
I got a few words for him.
All right. But if you want to pop on, just say the word and I can shoot you a link on Instagram. You let me know. If you're cool with that, then I can send it over to you. If not, that's fine. But I'm just throwing it out as if you would like to pop in and chime in. Like I said, while I'm watching the hockeys. I got some of the hockeys on, so I'm observing here. Plus, right now, Bobbles is currently, as we speak, trying to figure out exactly how he can text message to all his sycophants and folks. It's like the Jason Robertson pump is on, y'all. It's on, like Donkey Kong. ... Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Guy's getting very excited. The guy needs to calm down right now. It's like, Eric, if I swear to God, we're in the second period, man. If Jason Robertson gets a hat trick, the pump emojis, it's gonna break the phone. The pump emojis.
If Robertson scores again, I'm done for the night. I'm hitting
Run while you still can. Flee for your life.
I don't want to be anywhere near him when that happens.
Yep.
It only matters if they win the game.
Listen, man, it's scary, dude. It's scary. I don't even know what we're gonna do at that point. I'm scared. I'm scared for all of us as a people.
I picked, the California Golden Seals to win this series, but I definitely don't want to see Robertson play well, because then we'd have to hear about it.
It's just endless. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, as if you haven't heard about it before.
I was gonna say, you hear about it no matter what.
Jim says,
welcome to 2024.
Here you go. So Jim here says, I still can't figure out the true rookies from 81 on when Donruss and Fleer started, along with Topps, who had the true rookie. So look, long story short, without getting too deep into the weeds, all the manufacturers had rookie cards during that time period, as long as they were base cards that you could pull out of the packs. None of the subsets, none of the weird little insert things that came in like rack packs or whatever, none of that. As long as it was part of the base set, pulled in a regular pack from that Donruss, Fleer, or Topps, they were all good. They tried to add in some things with like the update sets and stuff like that. That's a different conversation. But for the most part, the base set, rookie year in that one, for the most part, you're pretty close. Very few exceptions. Neither rocket emoji to the moon. That's right. That's right. His company claims to earn rookies in some multiple seasons. Yes. Well, that was a running joke with the whole the 84 Star Jordan thing, right? Like the 84 Star Jordan was a licensed card, and it was closer to his rookie year. But the 86 Fleer is the one that became accepted by it because it was in packs. It was nationally distributed. It was all these other components of it. It wasn't a licensing problem. It was a distribution problem. And that was the conversation that was happening at the time. And then you added in all that extra layers of complication. It was funny is that Beckett on his podcast did a conversation with Darren Rebell specifically about that. Obviously, as soon as you get a record price, right, a record sale, everybody comes out of the woodwork to talk about it, right? So no surprise there.
I didn't get the email asking me to come on that show.
What would have been your contribution to that? I was going to say, it's like, I paid $925,000. It is the rookie if I say it's the rookie.
That's right.
That's right. That's all I'm saying. Listen, if Brandon can have his Jason Robertson pump, then God damn it, you can buy your way to make it to the rookie. If I pay $925,000, then God damn it, his 1998 card is a rookie.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think I have $925,000 worth of Jason Robertson yet.
Listen, at this point, Eric doesn't have
Maybe
$925,000 Doge. Like, don't even worry about it.
Well, I think Bobby's right when it comes to hockey didn't really complicate rookie cards, but up until present time, when, like I said earlier, look at Bedard's, how many rookie cards is that kid going to have?
He's going to have a ton. Victor, you're good. Just give me a thumbs up.
They put out Upper Deck.
Victor, to start, I need you to tell Eric he's wrong. Just sight unseen, just tell him he's wrong about whatever it is he's saying.
Yeah,
his words are wrong. They're blasphemy. I don't even know what he's saying anymore.
Eric is always wrong, right?
Always wrong. That's correct.
Oh, God, you're going to get it in a second. So Upper Deck put out an entire box set of just Bedard cards.
Oh, I was about to. I thought you were going to talk about the Boston Bruins.
And they're all.
I think that was a mistake too. That was trash.
Hey, I worked really hard on that. So Upper Deck has an entire box set of like 100 cards in it or some ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
All Bedard.
Yeah.
Well, it came out his rookie year. So that makes every single one of them a rookie card. Plus his Young Guns, plus the acetate, plus the Star Spangled Banner one, plus the pineapple one, plus the one.
Oh, Billy, somewhere off in the distance is like the pineapple one. This is awesome. It's a great idea.
The series 1 draft day thumbs up one, and then you still haven't had the rookie auto parallax shields autograph.
I think you're about to have a stroke, Eric. I think you need to calm down for a second. I need you to calm down for a minute.
Breathe, Eric. Breathe.
Like so for the record. So two things. First, Bobby says I love pineapple. See, you got Bobby excited.
See?
It's like he's thrilled about this notion, this idea.
Inside
First,
the
He
knowledge
likes
of
pineapple ice cream cake.
He's getting very excited. Oh, pineapple ice cream cake. Oh. Brandon, you've already been scandalous once tonight. I need you to calm down. I need you to settle. You are trifling with forces you do not understand. Bobby and his goddamn ice cream cake. See, listen. Victor can be as passionate as he wants about the rookie card. Bobby and the goddamn ice cream cake. He will have words with you. There will be words had. See? Here you go. You're dead after school. I told you. I warned you, man. These are friends you do not want to trifle with, man. So first, Victor, good evening. How are you?
Doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on, man.
You see what happens when you join in on this ridiculousness?
Yeah, I got somebody.
This is supposed to be a podcast episode that suddenly became a live stream. What happened?
Somebody threw the bait out there, and I got hooked. I guess I don't know.
Listen, first of all, Brandon is scandalous. Like, as a man of peace, I can't relate. Like, I am a very, very chill and calm individual. I don't make my opinions known, generally speaking. I try to keep it even keel. You know how it is. I try to keep it even keel.
Oh, y'all know my opinions. I don't know.
Yeah. Shut up about your opinions. We've already had your Jason Robertson pump. Like, I need you to settle back down over there. I need you to calm down. All right. You had your moment. He's already had 2 goals. If he gets another goal, then the end is nigh. We know it's coming. All right.
If he gets another goal, Eric's got to do the fireworks.
Like it's done. Like it's done. Eric will buy his RPA. That's what's going to happen next.
He's leaving. I already told you.
He's going to run for the hills.
Will not be a participant of this nonsense.
There you go. So I was going to say, so actually, so before I get into this discussion for a moment here,
Mhm.
so thank you for popping on and joining in. But actually, I think it's thematically appropriate because, like I said, I didn't want to spoil this. I didn't want to spoil too much. But once upon a time, if you all go back in the archives, I did a lot of the year-end reviews. And Victor was on one of those year-end reviews where I did my fun little thing where I did the Hobby Palooza all the way through the Four Square.
That
By
was
the way,
good.
I did that on Friday as well.
Did you?
By coincidence. Again, I'm not spoiling anything yet.
Okay.
But there might be a Hobby Palooza thing happening.
Really?
I'm only saying
Okay.
maybe.
All right.
And if it does happen, the fact that Victor's here is greatly appropriate. I just thought I would throw that in there.
Okay.
That's what they call in the business a tease.
Okay. All
I
right.
just want to throw that in there. Just letting you all know. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying maybe.
I love it.
So anyway. Oh, and by the way, it might have worked out in such a way where I'm not bound by 1 hour. Like the peasants.
Correct.
Maybe.
Peasants are bound by 1 hour.
Yeah, I will not deal with that nonsense.
Yeah.
That's
Because we really want to bring this crap to the masses.
yes, we do. Yeah, we 100% do. We do with every fiber of our being, Eric. Yes, we want that for the masses, like you want a chocolate stick in your belly.
That would be good. I do like that.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Victor, share with us some rookie card wisdom. Why is talk about Brandon's scandalous words again? A man of peace that I am.
Yeah,
my love of the rookie card is well noted, of course.
Yeah. I totally get where Brandon's coming from because of the it is when you sit down and try to filter things out and figure it out, it's just overwhelming. The what they're doing to the rookie card is just absolutely outrageous. And I feel him, man. I know where he's coming from. Been there.
But see, in fairness, to be fair, Eric, go ahead.
to be fair,
Nice.
Victor only acknowledges, and it's right in his name, the true rookie card.
Yeah. I can take a checklist of a current player, which is typically they're averaging anywhere between 2,500 and 3,500 cards produced in a single year. And of course, all of them are rookie cards, but I can get it down when I systematically look at it, I can get it down to under a dozen that are actually cards that actually line up with historical guidelines.
Right. And for which sports in particular do you find that works the best?
I do it to all of them. Technically, it's
okay.
Yeah, I can. The system that I use, I do it to all of it, all sports. I haven't done any in hockey yet, but
I was going to say you're going to find that they're pretty good about having a base set card.
Yeah,
that would qualify under a lot of regular circumstances. So almost all the brands will have one, generally speaking. So you'll probably get more than a dozen if you ran through the hockey one, just because they're usually pretty good about making sure that they have one that would fit the normal criteria.
Right.
In addition to whatever else.
I think in general, the hockey community, even in modern, in today's products, although Upper Deck's kind of pushing the needle a little bit with being behind, but hockey is kind of unique, and it has kind of cemented its place of what the collectors, I'm not going to say they count as the rookie or not, but the one that is the go-to.
Yeah.
And well, the three, I guess that you would say, are the go-to. You have
they're kind of the three main ones.
Yeah, the SP Future Watch Auto, and then your Cup RPA, and that gives you kind of one of each example: your base rookie card, your just simple autograph rookie card, and then your RPA. And they kind of there's no debate in hockey about those three.
Right.
People might like other products, but those are your staple three.
How many products does Upper Deck make for hockey in a single year?
It varies by year, but I think they've settled in. I want to say, I feel like it's in the high 20s, low 30s.
Okay.
I guess quite a bit. Now, mind you, it's changed year by year, and obviously they got backlogs. So now we've got this weird double year thing going on where they'll produce a 22-3 product and then a 23-4 product. So it's like, oh, this is a brand new product, but Bedard's not in it. Why not? Because it's 22-3. But then this other one is 23. Oh my God, why?
Yeah.
So it's created this murky thing where we're stuck on this kind of double rookie class thing happening simultaneously. Where in the present, we're also in the past and in the future.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about complicated, Victor? Like we're in the present and the future and the past simultaneously.
Now, does hockey have like prospect cards as well?
They've used to have a little bit more of that. There is, I want to say that a lot of that has been cut down quite a bit. It's not as bad as it was.
Really?
Yeah, because really, like Leaf is the only one that kind of does the unlicensed, but they don't really do base cards. So, and they don't really worry about prospects as much anymore. So they're not really too concerned. They used to, under Brian Gray, they did have a couple of times where they had exclusives. So Eichel was one that they signed exclusively for a bit, so they were able to do cards of him. But since they don't have real base cards, I don't think nobody really argued that they were ever rookie cards. There was really no debate. What's the funny part? There was no debate. Nobody sat there and go like, "Oh my God, this is rookie." No, it's not. Everybody's like, "No, it's not. It's not." We all agree. It's a nice card. If you want it, go get it, but it's not.
Yeah.
We all agree. So we didn't have too much fighting on that one. It's pretty peaceful. But I think that's where that sport kind of differentiates itself a little bit from the other ones, only because we have one manufacturer, but the one manufacturer is like, it's a really important license for them. So they don't try to play too many games with it, because it's like, if Upper loses hockey, then they're kind of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like they're running out of licenses. So they kind of need to work with the NHL seems to like what they're doing. So they've had a pretty good relationship.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, I find hockey. I've actually studied the cards of Ovechkin and Connor McDavid, and you know, it's a lot easier to figure out, and for me, anyways, it really is a lot more structure. Now, baseball, on the other hand, is absolute chaos. I've never seen nothing so, between the 2,000 prospect cards that come out, and then the 3,000 rookie year cards that come out, and my goodness, crazy.
I agree. I think that's where it became kind of a little bit complex. Well, that's why I say, like, it's fun, because on here we've got it disturbs me that there's even such a card. Like, this is heinous. Like, it's embarrassing for us all. Whatever manufacturer created that should like be disbanded immediately.
Hold on.
Tops gone. Listen, there's that Fanatics check just requires another 0 now. Ruben, you need another 0 before I will co-sign on this garbage. On this
That's
trash.
But is that a rookie, Eric?
I don't know who that is. Are you sure you didn't make that up? That's not AI. I'm sure it's AI.
That's Christopher Blevins.
The Christopher Blevins? Who the hell's that?
And
Is that the first NBA three-pointer? Like, who the hell's that?
And it's out of 299.
Oh my God. That's 299 more than they're required. What are we talking about?
Base, because there's you got the base version, and then this is the American flag version.
Okay. A parallel.
What would make me happy is if the base version is a 1-of-1, because I'm like, no one else wants this crap. Just Eric. Like, honest to goodness. What is this? Blevins is not even a real name. Bobby agrees with me. Exactly. This sounds like AI garbage that you just made up.
Nope. Christopher Blevins, world champ.
So now the word on the street is that this $925,000 sale is fake. It's all staged. So I don't know how true that is.
Well, that's it. So okay. So let's be 5% more mature. Let's be 5% more mature for a moment.
Okay.
All right.
For the sake of the format, let's be 5% more mature.
It is Monday.
That would not be unusual, because look, the problem with private sales are easy to do. Private sales, like, what are you validating? It's like, oh, I saw bank statements. So like Ravel, I think, said he saw some bank statements or whatever. It's like, well, what are we talking about? Like, what are we, Eric, I sold Eric a Reggie Lemon M&M card for like $47 trillion. Like, what are we even talking about?
Right.
Like, by the way, that's an exclusive. So Ravel, you can report that. I sold a Reggie Lemon card. If you can spell it, it requires a lot of syllables. I sold it for $47 trillion.
Yeah.
And that's legit. That's legit. And I will show you a bank statement from the Bank of, Nova Scotia, Switzerlandistan.
Yep.
Which will show that I had $100 trillion that I could have transferred over, but Eric transferred over $47 trillion. It's very good.
Now they're bringing into question the character of this one Jesse Craig, who allegedly is
Jesse Craig from PWCC brought into ill repute. What?
Yeah, I never heard of him. But I guess he's got a
I can't
record.
believe on a Monday in May of 2024 that
In the year of our Lord
would have controversy about a sale or price or value or manipulation questioning in the sports card hobby. I mean, that's outlandish. That's more outlandish than the travesty I was spitting out.
You admit it's a travesty. That's the best part. You admit it's a travesty. Everything. Listen, I was spitting
many
facts
different things on this.
I was spitting. The best part. The best part.
It's unheard of. It's impossible.
Is that I'm willing to jump on the bandwagon of what Brandon is saying is a travesty, where he's talking about the rookie card being devalued, whereas me denouncing the rookie card in general is fine. But the point is him focusing on that specific subset. That's a travesty. That is scandalous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it is unbecoming of us. How dare we? Eric, I don't know. What would your mother think?
It's a very sad day.
Episode 78's going down in history. That's all I know. We knew it was going to be a big show because it's 78.
Well, it's 78. Like, that's a significant number somewhere.
Going down in history.
Mm-hmm. So, Victor, did I mention that the reason I went live is because I couldn't come up with an idea for the episode?
I did.
Because that's really the only reason I went live. Like, I couldn't think of a damn thing. I was thinking about it. It's like I couldn't think of a damn thing. Like, we'll just go live. Whatever. Who cares?
Okay. It works once in a while.
Like I figured, I was like, worst case scenario, we'll just watch the hockey game. It'll be great. That's what basically we were doing. It's like literally, I got on the other screen, Victor. It's not a joke. Like, I was watching the hockey game.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah. But hashtag content, Victor. So I'm just telling you. Don't tell the audience. Don't tell them. But literally, I just did this because we couldn't come up with a single decent idea. Like, not one. Like, we were just completely out of ideas. Like, we were devoid. We were looking at Eric, and then Eric had that blank stare on his face, like he usually does. Like, there was nothing there. It was blank. There's nothing.
And we knew we could talk about
we'll do it live. Who
Marcel
cares?
At least
who cares?
30 minutes.
Victor,
it happens when you go live. It does. You have moments
that,
like
Victor.
that.
If you ever run out of ideas for a video, just go randomly live for no reason. Just be like, yeah, we're doing it. This is live episode. But be clear. You have to be sure off the top. Make sure you're clear. I'm doing this intentionally. This is exactly what I planned. There was no spontaneity to it at all. This is greatly considered and pre-planned, scripted right down to the last syllable.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. I heard the AW pay-per-view was on fire last night. I did enjoy it. It was quite good. Can you explain what happened to Eric Carlos? Oh my God. How much time you got? You talk about 7-hour live stream. Oh my God. That's like a 70-hour miniseries. I need Ken Burns. I need help. Like, I need a lot of archival footage. Oh my goodness.
My mother's been trying to figure it out for 50 years now. She can't figure it out.
On the 8th day, the Lord made a mistake, a horrific mistake he could not undo.
She does blame my father a lot.
I blame your father too, and I never met the man. Like, there's a lot of things that went wrong.
Usually, when the question comes up, he usually gets the blame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's fair. But what I was getting, believe it or not, I had a point. But the point that I was getting at was that the fun part for me right now is, to your point, is that the 84 star thing brought out the whole, it's fun for me as a content creator because it gives me, it's meat on the bone for me to chew on. It's fun because it gives something there, because I feel like sometimes we get dry for a bit. Like right now, it's been a little quiet relatively. It's like, I kept waiting, I keep waiting for Ken Golden to light himself on fire. Like he refuses to give me what I want. I've asked one thing of the man. Yeah. I just said, kerosene, gasoline, whatever you need to do, a match, and go.
Yeah.
Not cooperating.
I will make a 12-part series on this. It'll be phenomenal. It'll be great. Everyone will love it.
Can we have that happen now, though? Because, eBay might increase fees if that happened. Like, he is part of eBay.
It's a small price to pay, Brandon. I will get it all back in AdSense. On my 12-part series, I will get it all back in AdSense. It'll be fine. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. And listen, he could put it on the Golden Touch. It'd be fantastic. They got a season 2. They need a hook for season 2. So may as well have that. So, yes, if the 84 star sale Turns out to be illegitimate. Shock of shocks.
Yeah.
Shocks.
Yeah.
It would not be the first time anything like that's happened. It's an unfortunate consequence of like, there was a time during the pandemic. So again, speaking seriously here, there was a time during the pandemic when we were producing a lot of videos, a lot of content, a lot of live stream, because there was stuff to talk about. I was doing 2 live streams a week, every week, because there was plenty to talk about all the time. But at that time, we were getting record sale after record sale after record sale, and some of them were private sales like that. But I've literally done videos where I just say, like, well, the thing about private sales is that they're private. And that means that you've got 2 problems. You got one, what is the agenda of the people that take a private sale public? They're sharing clearly, like you and I can make a private sale for a card. Nobody has to know what money changed hands or what card changed hands.
Yeah.
Unless we decide somebody we want people to know. In which case, why do we want people to know? What is our agenda? And then at the same time, okay, but you want to make it public, but you also don't want to give who all the parties are. You can't have it both ways. Like if you want to be public, well then who the hell are you and who the hell's the buyer and who the hell's the seller?
Right.
It's, who is making this transaction happen.
At least
I
one
think
person.
that information should be out there. Yeah. That information should be out there if you're going to do it. But if you're just going to do a private deal, then do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, and that's what even because Chris from Card Ladder, he does a lot of that, checking on how legit the sell is. And he says that the standard operating procedure is that at least one person has to come forward, either the buyer or the seller. Very odd when nobody, reveals themselves. So I don't know how, but the watchdogs are on it.
Wow.
Do you consider yourself a watchdog, Carlos?
I consider myself a man of peace. That's what I consider myself. That's what I tell myself every day, Victor. I look in the mirror, man of peace. That guy. Man, that guy. And that's how I know it's going to be a good day, because I believe my lies. I believe them.
Someone should.
I have learned how. It takes a lot of work, Victor. It's not like an overnight thing. You got to really work at it to the point that you just don't burst out into cackling. You have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and look at yourself right in the eye and be like, man of peace.
With a straight
face. If you don't
face.
Burst into laughter, you're pretty much good to go. You've done it. You're good to go, man. Right, Bob? Yeah. No, Victor, I consider so in all seriousness, my classification, what I consider myself to be a pundit.
Okay.
Right. I'm here to look at it and I'll comment on it. And, but there's a lot of stuff that like people get worked up about that I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I can't pretend to care about it. It's like, I don't care, guys. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Whatever. You do you if it makes you happy. But even that sale was fun just because, all right, it reopens that whole conversation. Makes no difference to me one way or the other. I think if I was a Jordan collector, I would like the star card just because I think it's a really cool card for the collector.
Sure.
Especially if you're an advanced Jordan collector. The 86 Fleer is not a hard card to come by. If you just pay the cash and you can get a copy, like whatever, it's not a big deal. So to me, that would be a card that would be a worthy collectible card. But I don't necessarily consider it to be a rookie card, but I'm also not morally opposed to it. It's like, what do you want to call it? Yeah. And I get the argument for and against. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
But it is a license card, one way or the other. Shady history and past. Like nobody wanted the NBA license in 84. That's the reason why you ended up with what you ended up with. Right. Otherwise, somebody else would have done it. It would have been Topps, or it would have been Fleer, or it would have been somebody else in 84. None of them wanted it.
Yeah.
Star was the only one who wanted to produce the cards that year.
Yeah. I know. Did you mention the episode with Beckett and Darren Rovell?
Yeah, I did get a chance to listen to it earlier today.
That was
it was interesting
really good
because
episode.
They went over to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went over to the article that I saw. I did see your video and I saw that you referenced that article. You were not impressed by the article. I was traumatized. They did not move the needle for you.
What's
sad.
that?
So you were referencing an article in Beckett talking about the 84 stars. Like,
oh yeah,
it didn't bring anything new to the table. I'm like, oh, Victor.
No,
but it says Beckett on it. Like that's the Bible. That's it. It's over.
They were just regurgitating what had already been said. I mean,
that's journalism 101. That's
literally, it was a Q&A, and it's like the guy went on and watched Jeff Wilson's interview with Steve Taft, and Steve Taft has been making his rounds for the last year, And that's exactly what was written, word for word. It's like there's nothing new here. There's nothing to pull from. Everything that was in there I already knew.
Look, you know what the saddest part about this is? Again, being that my brand is being a man of peace. That's pretty much what I do.
Sure.
And I have serious content. It's not what we're here for. It's not what we're here for. But despite that, if people go in the archives and they go take a look, I've done excerpts on some of the live streams where I feel it's appropriate. Jay, friend of the channel who's on there, is a collector of the star cards of the 80s. And he had some of the few pre-PSA graded star cards and gave us a little background on some of the star cards from the 80s. That's stuff that is not going to be in your little article. So what's funny about it is like, this is a guy who actually collected the thing, who actually has some of the handful of PSA cards that existed prior to PSA reinstating that. He actually collected those cards and has them, and actually has more understanding and background on the history of it. And we went into an in-depth conversation about it for like 15 or 20 minutes. We actually talked about that. Is on the channel as an archive piece. So it's like that's why I kind of laugh. It's like I can go dial up Jay and we can go have a conversation about star cards. We don't need Steve Taft. Steve Taft is obviously the one who's been leading the charge on a lot of this stuff, because he's the only one who really has had any. Beckett's comfort level with it is because of Steve Taft. So PSA's comfort level with it is going to also come from Steve Taft. He's the only one who kind of is that person for that. He's the conduit by which the rest of it goes. But there are some hardcore longtime collectors who know a thing or two about that brand and kind of the background of it as well. And they've done their own research and digging. But I was like, no. So for that one, you got to go to the Because I'm Carlos channel. That's where you go.
There you go. There you go.
Why do I go to Beckett? Like, I don't need the peasants. I got to go higher. I got to go a higher level in the hobby food chain. Why am I dealing with that? The Burrell mag would have been something. Alas, it's just an app now. Oh,
what?
Tragic. Let's get down on the Burrell magazine. Dang.
What does that say?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. He was talking about appetizers.
Oh, I think it said something.
Good evening, Stu.
Stooks.
Ravel needs content to pay off his investment. He does. So Victor, I'm actually kind of offended. Ravel was able to get millions of dollars for this collect, and he wasn't able to afford all the vowels. Millions of dollars, and they couldn't pay for all the vowels. Like, what the hell, man? And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. Like, when can I cash out the big sweet check? Like, I'll take the novelty golf check. Like, let's go. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'll sell out so hard, Victor. Like, it won't even, like, it'll be like I will be decked out Fanatics head to toe. Like, I'm in. Let's go, bro.
No sponsorships. I mean, you
put enough zeros on that, Victor. Let's go. Like,
okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Like, done.
All right.
Like, done. It's like, oh, Carlos, integrity. Listen, integrity has a price, my friend. And I have established that price. Don't even worry about it. Bobby says, with the rarity of star cards, does that not imply the distribution was not stuff nationally? So it was because it was the little basically team sets. That was always the problem. It was the distribution method. That was always the issue method.
Yeah.
So that was a big part. But again, I don't know anything. I'm just a man of peace who just says stuff.
Sure.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Not like I've been around 30 years plus. I don't know anything. So Bob Jackson says, calm down, Eric. We're talking about appetizers. Exactly. What are you getting all worked up about?
And speaking of like 30 years, I live in the Chicagoland region, and I've been going to card shows around here in the 80s and 90s, especially because I was a dealer. Man, you never saw star cards around. Never.
Yeah, they weren't really available. They were in certain pockets. They were available to certain dealers in certain pockets.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But that's why I say, like, I have no problem with the argument, and I don't really. The fact that they called it an XRC back then is fine by me. I'm all right with it. Now it did create the murkiness of it, and I think Beckett did talk about that briefly as well.
That concerns me a little bit, because the XRC is an extended set.
Yeah.
Like Topps.
It's like the Fleer update.
Yeah. That's not what that is. The Star card is not an update set. So I don't know why they put that on there. And then now they're like referencing it like a pre-rookie. That's what the XRC means. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
But kind of the play. Look, I like to tease endlessly. It's a great joy, and I appreciate that you're here, because it creates a good contrast. I think it's better to have a contrast, because Eric tries to tamper down some of my sensibilities. It doesn't work, but he tries. The point is, he tries. Boy, that boy tries.
Yeah,
he tries so hard. He fails consistently, but the point is he tries. The effort is there.
Indeed.
But one of the great joys is I like to have fun with old Jimbo. Go to old Dr. Beckett. It's like, you're not a doctor if you can't prescribe me medication. So I'm not giving you doctor. No. If you cannot prescribe me meds, you do not get doctor. No. Nay, good sir. Nay. MD only. But the point is that the reality though is speaking of this specific situation, you shook your head, but the reality was that the Beckett magazine made the call to make the Star put the designation on there. Yeah. They've done certain things in the past like this. By the way, getting away from the rookie card for a second. For years, the 52 Tops mantle had FTC. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? First Tops card? What does that even mean? Why do we even need why? What? It's 52 Tops. The 51 Bowman is the rookie card. And then we've got this 52 Tops card is the more popular card. It's the iconic card. It's the one everyone looks to. But then as years go by, people are like, oh, the 52 Tops rookie. No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not. And this shouldn't even be difficult. This should actually be really easy. This one should be clear cut. And yet the words still escape.
Auction houses are still advertising it as a rookie card, for crying out loud.
Well, PSA has the whole set registry of first Tops issue or first Tops appearance or whatever. They have a whole set registry of that too.
Yeah.
That used to mean something to me early on in my collecting days, because collecting only hockey, you had Tops and O-Pee-Chee, and O-Pee-Chee was hard to find, back then, and so first Tops card, actually meant something back then, because I couldn't get, there was no internet. If your local dealer didn't have it, it didn't exist. So, I couldn't get a Mark Messier rookie card. I could get his second year, or whatever his first Tops card. I'm just using an example of just any player, but that meant something then. I remember Guy Lafleur especially had an FTC because there was no way in 1988 you were going to.
Today they have NFTs.
Yeah, same thing, right? So, that was the only thing that I could do is get his second year and kind of have it in my head that this meant something and it was important. It wasn't until you get older and then the world opened up with the internet and I am able to drive, so I can go further than I can walk. And
uphill.
Yeah, both
ways.
The internet definitely changed the landscape as far as distribution is concerned. But I think even within that, there has to be some boundaries, because if that's the case, then then everything becomes a rookie card. There has to be some kind of, like the Tops now, they do a lot of great stuff, but a lot of what they do is like a Throwback Thursday, which is kind of like an insert set or like a little subset. And those things, that's where I like to kind of draw some lines so that everything is not a rookie card. So I like the Tops Now stuff, the Panini Instant stuff. But then at the same time, now that's print on demand. Is that actually
it is print on demand? Yeah.
Now that there's murkiness there, but.
Okay. Now question for you, actually, since you bring that up. So now again, I know hockey's not your expertise, so I'll give you some background so you're not going blind. So one of the interesting little quirks, again, Upper Deck is the only licensed manufacturer in the hockey realm. So whatever they're doing, that's basically what it is in the realm of licensed. One of the things they've done the last years now is the e-pack. Now, the thing about e-pack is that the cards themselves are pretty much the same as the stuff in the packs and the boxes. Now, where it gets a little interesting, this is where it gets a little murky, is e-pack itself is digital packs, but it can represent real cards because you can get a lot of the cards, which can be real cards, etc., and parallels and things like that, and that's all fine. And the idea is that it uses ratios and things related to the same thing as a physical box, but they've got some product they produce for that. But they have made e-pack products which have entire print runs that are 100% EPAC. It's electronic packs, but the base cards exist inside of this universe, and you can actually redeem some of these cards.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got base cards, you've got parallels, you've got inserts, you've got memorabilia, you've got all kinds, even autographs. So you've got all these things that again can be brought into the physical world, and you can go get a physical copy of said card. I think for the most part, they've refrained from keeping the base sets away from being physical because that's part of the EPAC thing up to this point. They've done that with Fleer Ultra. Fleer Ultra is one of the brands they've done that with in hockey.
Okay.
But if tomorrow they did the same thing, but they actually brought in the base set and actually had it available as physical cards, that's kind of an interesting thing because the packs themselves exist. You're buying packs and you're buying boxes, digital, but you're getting a physical card at the end of it if you want. If you wish, you can redeem it for a physical card because it exists. And it uses ratios and it uses inserts, subsets, everything the same way that a regular set would be, but the box itself never existed. You opened it up all in digital format, but then you said, ship it to me, and then they send you the cards.
And then they print them or what?
They've printed them the whole time.
Oh, they printed
The ones that are physical were printed in the first place. They exist. And at any time you can hit, because what they do is they ship them off to COMC, and COMC is the fulfillment center. So what happens, the physical cards are all there. They're there. So what happens is you pull the digital card, you say to yourself, send it over to my COMC account, boom, transfers over. I go to COMC and go, ship me the stuff. They send it to me. I get a physical card.
Yeah. And I think like with I have some E-tops on baseball cards, but like I think a lot of that is like little gimmick things that the manufacturers do, and it seems like today they make more gimmick cards than probably anything else. And the thing about gimmicks is that it falls outside of the traditional standard, and I guess that's kind of where the purist mentality comes in, or the traditional view, historical text of it all comes into question then, because that's when we start to develop the boundaries and trying to figure things out. And I think like something like E-tops falls under like a gimmicky type of set that really doesn't apply to a rookie card designation in its traditional sense, right? But sure. I don't know. It's those things are tricky, things like that, and it's how come I'm doing what I'm doing, and I do believe, guys, that we are making some noise within the industry. The chatter is starting to happen on rookie card confusion, clarity, drawing lines of clarity, which is a lot of what I preach. But I think that I'm going to continue to press the issue, and in the event, whether it changes things or not, I'm not looking to change things. I don't think, I think I'm just trying to bring something to light, something that I find concerning, because I've been really confused about things a lot myself. And I do have a book coming out. I guess I can plug my book now that I'm
plug your book. Look, we love shameless plugs. Eric has been plugging that he's friends with people he has no association to. He harasses. He pretends he's friends with people. If Eric can pretend he's friends with people that basically have restraining orders against him, then for goodness sake, you can plug a book. Go ahead.
There you go. Well, I've written the book already. It's in the process of it's a self-published book. So it's one of them things, I've got a lot to learn. And one of the first things that I'm learning is when you're self-publishing a book is that you better not be in a rush, because everything is slow to happen, man. But I'm hoping to have this thing on print and released just prior to the national. So, and I'm doing that, and I'm hoping that that book will get to the hands of the right people that can at least consider bringing some lines of clarity into the situation.
Well, I was going to say, Victor, I know you're a baseball fan. You got the Cubs shirt on there, and you talked about how bad the baseball, and Bob says it down there, baseball is the worst. Baseball just recently made a few tweaks and reforms to rules, and I think that's where the hobby needs to be directing itself to with the whole rookie card thing, because we're not in the 80s and 90s anymore when those rules were written.
Right.
There's a lot more eggs in the basket now. And I think the rules themselves need to be looked at differently. And there needs to be a few changes made on to what those initial rules were. So
yeah, but I think, you know, you're a man of reason, Brandon. You're logical, man. But right, it's not the 1980s anymore. And a man of peace, right? We have
look, you lost me a man of reason. Like, if you say so, fine. Look, I am a man of peace. These are facts. These are indisputable facts. The rest of it, I have questions. Like,
right?
Sure, yeah, great. Go ahead.
Yeah,
please continue.
No,
I appreciate you, Victor.
I agree that and it's my biggest struggle is trying to convince people that it's not 1984 anymore. The rookie card has evolved, and we need to get on board. But at the same time, I'm trying to convince the younger people that, hey, everything can't be a rookie card, guys. If everything's a rookie card, there might as well nothing be a rookie card. You know, and trying to balance the two sides is kind of where I'm at, kind of trying to bring at least
the biggest struggle, and like without even hearing the conversations, I already know what the biggest like struggle is going to be with it is the rules would dictate that your base card is going to be the rookie or the true rookie or whatever.
Right.
But the hobbyists today, especially your newer people into the hobby or the younger generation, it's dictated a lot more on appeal of dollar value.
Right.
And let's face it, the base card is printed to the moon, and people are into shiny and parallels and serial numbers, but the rules, the laws of the rookie card don't allow the serial numbers. So it's this struggle because this side's going to want the value and say that the true is junk, but this side over here is wanting to keep it organic, so to speak, within what the rules allotted to. And so it's always going to be a battle there because whether people admit or not, a lot of this hobby is driven off of value. Like I would say most of it is driven off of value.
100%. But there's things that they can do to tighten the belt a little bit. And you can, base cards can be serial numbered, and why can't we replace the identifier on the cards that are the insert autograph shiny parallel? There has to be a designation to it. Go ahead.
Looking at that, where you said the base card can have a serial number, this is something that I've actually said. So many people argue that the orange polka dotted pixie dust out of 150 is something special. But if you take the 40 colors or 50 colors or whatever and add all those serial numbers up, and then you add into the base cards and how many of those are printed, what is that number coming to? Because we laughed today at looking at the 90s stuff that had 1 out of 10,000 or whatever, and was like, oh, that's trash. There was 10,000 of them. But when you start adding up all of those colors,
right,
and then factoring in the same picture on the base card, you're probably, that 10,000 is probably not looking so bad. So, that I think that's where a struggle is too. People are looking at the colors and the patterns as individualized cards when all they are is the same damn card with a different color and pattern, but a different number on it.
All and how you look at it. Yep.
I think it's fair. So
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know how much longer you were wanting to go. My daughter just got home, so
we can start winding down here. We can start winding down here. No, that's fair. I think we've got a couple more insults of Eric here that we can fit in, before the night's out. So we'll make sure to include those, and we'll get that in. And But if you need to take off, you do so, and then we'll wind her down. So this is something you can look forward to in the not Hobby Palooza. I can't promise that. I have no idea what's going on with that. I have no knowledge of that.
You teased me about coming to the national, and I don't know, it didn't happen.
No, the national thing, I was just being a jerk. Like I had no intention. Like the nationals for peasants. Like I'm not dealing with that bullshit. Like get out of here. And plus, I'm also perma-banned. Like I'm banned, Victor. This is not my fault. Like they banned me permanently from the national. They said, Carlos, you can't go to the national. They go, why? Well, you're not a man of peace enough. Oh man, I got to aspire to higher man of peace than God. I tried,
Come on,
like I keep going to the highest echelons of man of peacedom. It's not good enough for these national guys. Like it's terrible.
So
it's not good enough for Cleveland, Eric. It's not good enough for Cleveland.
You're gonna wrap up the last 4 hours of Hobby Palooza.
Oh, at least maybe the last 14. Maybe what'll happen is I'll just keep going the next day, and I'll be like, you're not starting until I'm done. When I'm done, you can start day 2. I mean, allegedly, hypothetically. I'll just leave Eric on. He can entertain everybody. He can go outside and water his lawn. He's got to work on that. Like that's a long-term project. That could be like a 14-hour live stream of him watering his lawn.
I didn't have to do it today because it rained.
But the rain, that's acid rain. That's going to kill it. You need to put proper water. You need to do pH balanced water on the lawn.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another 6 months of watering the lawn that you just did because you didn't water it properly.
Damn it.
You didn't think about that, did you?
No.
That's your problem, Eric. You don't think.
I know.
That's your big problem right there.
Like that time when you invited me on for the first time and I said yes.
Yeah, no, you were an idiot then too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just we're all on the same page. At that time, Victor, I was inviting any old idiot because I figured it would amuse me. So Victor, again, this is just me and you talking. Like, the audience isn't even hearing this. Don't even worry about it. So back in the olden days, many live streams ago, like I've done hundreds of these things. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's absurd. But anyway, so the point is that back in those days, I used to make the link available in the chat. And the point of doing that was because, well, we got nothing better to do. So what the hell? So I would leave the link in the chat, and like randos would come on all the time, and like Lord knows what you're gonna get out of it. Like you have no idea. And that's what made it entertaining, because then if they annoyed me, I just dump them. I just press the button, they'd be gone. It'd be great.
I remember that one guy would always get kicked out. He'd say something crazy.
Justin. So the thing, good old Justin was the best, because he was one of the best ones for my year-end reviews, because what happens, like, look, we all love Justin, but the thing is, we love Justin ironically. And the best part about Justin is that he would come on, and look, I like to have my beers when I'm on here doing this. Sure. I do. I literally have it on here. But here's the thing. And by the way, these are strong beers. But if you notice, I have 2 over the course of hours. No. Justin would be like, he'd go through like 1 every like 10 minutes and just keep going. And it would just be like a slow descent into madness. And it would just keep going. And I would just let it play until eventually he would just be like, he would say something and it'd be like, and it'd be like, and you know what's going to happen now, Justin? He goes, no, you're not. Oh, and he disappears.
Yep.
And that's how it would play out every single. And it was like, Wile E. Coyote. And it was like the trap, and everybody knew it was going to happen, and it still happened. That was the fun part, Victor.
Yep.
Good time.
Yep. And he would walk through the door, and here we go.
It was like Wile E. Coyote, but now he begs to come on, so now I can't do it.
Okay.
Now he's like, oh, bring me out. No. It's not how this works.
He's disqualified.
No. If you beg, like, I don't do begging. It doesn't work that way.
I beg to be banned.
Well, that's why I ignore you. You said begging is the opposite. Doesn't work that way. No. I'm basically, look, at this point, look, Eric, again, it's just me and you talking. Don't even worry about Brandon and Victor. They can't even hear us. I'm basically working under the orders of Kathy, because she's basically like, I hate that guy. Punish him, Carlos. Punish him at every opportunity. And between your mom, your wife, your kids, the local neighbors, the local church pastor, like everyone basically has it in for you. And they're like, Carlos, punish this fool. And I'm like, guys, like, punish this fool. And I'm fine. Okay, jeez.
It does seem to make a little sense now. Yeah. Now that you make
what do you want from me? Your entire neighborhood. Everybody wants me to do, like, well, like, look, I would have done it for a Klondike bar, but if y'all insist, like, it's fine. I'll do it.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job.
I try. I do my best. Thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Victor, I have a question for you. You're a well-respected YouTuber.
The setup. Oh no.
Oh, yeah,
No.
yeah.
No.
Here it comes.
No. You're a well-respected YouTuber. You've made your YouTube career out of providing information to people and intelligent information and educating people. Why would you want to ruin all that by coming onto this dumbass?
Eric, that doesn't sound very man of peace.
No,
I'm just not feeling like Brandon. I'm not feeling the peace.
You have a book coming out. It's like
You
want to ruin all that by coming on.
Oh no,
You're
Eric. It might be the pump emojis. Might be the pump emojis. Oh my God.
Oh Christ Almighty.
Jason Robertson might have scored another goal. Oh my God.
Oh, Christ.
I just thought I would warn you.
It was planned. That's why we went live. Episode 78.
Now
and
Brandon's
watching
gonna
the
be
game and knew it was going to
Brandon's
happen.
gonna be in look. You got to understand. So, Victor, forget about everything we just said earlier. So,
Uh-huh.
for Brandon, every Jason Robertson card, including second, third year, fourth year, 18th year, they're all rookie cards.
They're all rookies.
worth millions.
right.
Like he's sitting on a stockpile of stockpiles over here. Like, Buddy's like, shh, shh, shh,
Yeah.
It's just endless. It doesn't stop. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
This one's pretty
sorry.
interesting.
Other than slandering us, Eric, what is it you're doing? So
Wow,
other
look at
than-
that one.
no,
Green PMG?
Listen,
Modern day
Bobbles
PMD.
is going to be unbearable now.
This is terrible. A playoff hat trick? That's going to be the pump.
He is going to be unbearable.
How many does Marcel have?
Well,
Marcel plays hockey now?
probably still do better than half of these bums.
Well, I bet he's got like a maintenance man rookie card somewhere. Like, I think that's pretty good. Like,
He's
I think-
72, and he can probably still play better than some of these guys. He had
That
7
low-
Soccer?
goals, I think, or at least one more.
that Marcel at 72 can wield a mean wrench. Let me tell you. Bobby here says, much like Bowman rookie mantle and the tops being worth more, like today, the rookie card is not the value of the parallels now, which is fine. Yeah. A lot of the parallels, yeah. They do hold a little bit more of the value for sure.
I actually, to answer your question, Eric, I actually have a lot of appreciation for this show because Carlos was one of the first channels that gave me a shout out when I started like 4 years ago. And and then I started tuning in, and I actually love what you guys are hilarious, man. I just put you on and I start puddling here with cards or something and crack up at the silliness of it all, and it's a great show.
So
Eric.
This is top tier stuff here, man. You don't get this.
Look,
every
Eric.
night.
Look, Eric. You know what? Victor's making some solid points. Why don't you go make your rebuttal?
I'm
Oh, I'm sorry. Your audio cut out. That's awful. I'm sure
Got
it was a
him.
very well thought out and considered rebuttal. That is such a shame. Such shame. Oh, Victor, this is tragic. I'm sure it was going to be articulate. I was sure it was going to be like brilliant. It was going to be his idiot savant moment. He was going to be like, "Oh, guys, I'm going to give you the formula. I'm going to give you the whole thing." It was going to be crazy.
That's what happens when you provoke the man of peace.
Mm-hmm. The man of peace is not far from the man of war. The line is thin, real thin. It doesn't take a lot. All right, folks. So this was an impromptu live stream. This is a bonus one. I didn't even promise you this one. This one just happened. So first, I want to thank Victor for popping on and chatting with us. Victor, hang around for a minute. We'll quickly chime off before we take off.
Yep.
Brandon, Bobbles, and Ball cards, and 540 Flips, allegedly, even though we don't know who 540 Flips is, but I think Brandon knows who it is. So I'm just making sure we plug that in there. And then you can go to Instagram. See, he's still muted. This is terrible. And then you can go to Sanderson to Orr. Now, important. Sanderson to Orr is on Instagram. So if you go to Sanderson to Orr on Instagram, this is absolutely critically important. This is important. Two things I need you to remember. And this applies to the live stream. This applies to the pre-recorded videos. This applies to all of the episodes. Number one, Eric pays for the like button. We charge him for every single like button that is pressed. So you got to make sure. And when he nods his head, like, look, right now he's not even objecting. So Eric, for this one time only, is going to pay 5 times the normal rate for the like button. 5 times. 5 times.
And
because we got to pay Victor's
sure.
appearance fee. So we need 5 times the normal like button fee. 5 times.
Do me one favor. Go to Sanderson to Orr, and whatever his most recent post is, comment below 5 fire emojis
Mhm.
and Jason Robertson. And that's all you got to do.
Amazing.
He will
Amazing.
love it. He loves
Absolutely.
fire emojis. Just leaving fire emojis.
Now remember, this is, believe it or not, this is actually a podcast episode. It's a very special podcast episode, but it is a podcast episode in the canon of podcast episodes.
78.
So, first thing was 78, the most important number there is. But the thing is, as I said, 5 times for the like button. Plus, in addition to that, you can go to Sanderson to Orr on Instagram. So do what Brandon said. 5 fire emojis, Jason Robertson. But in addition to that, you can go and message Sanderson to Orr. Now, there's 2 things. We appreciate comments in the comments section. We appreciate likes. We appreciate engagement. But if you may have some negative feedback, and I can't even imagine why. I'm a man of peace. I don't know why you would ever have negative feedback. However, if you have negative feedback, I want you to direct it straight to Sanderson to Orr, because that's how it's going to get addressed directly. Every piece of hatred and vitriol, anything you don't like, send it directly to Sanderson to Orr. Directly there, and it will be processed in due course. Send it right there.
It's
That's
true.
where you need to send it.
He'll text us and let us know. We'll discuss
He
it.
personally reads every single message that is sent his way, all of them, big or small. Write him a book. Take a page from Victor and write him a book. Give him a whole book. Chapters 1 through 50. Give him all of them. Give whole thing. Hit him with it. All right. So that's it for us on this episode. Episode 78, episode 79 will be a regular recorded episode, mercifully. So hope you fully enjoyed that. We'll be back on Friday for the regular live stream. The longest running episodic, whatever it is, I still don't know. Maybe Victor's rookie card thing. Maybe we could run it through Victor's rookie card filter and we could figure out what the hell it is. I still don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't even, never mind. All right, that's it for us. Have yourselves a good one. We'll catch you in the next one.